We're live, people. We're live. Welcome to another In Motion Football live stream. My name is Alam, and today we have a lot to talk about because a lot of stuff happened today during the Sunday games. Obviously, we got the watch along as well for the Sunday night football game, Raiders and Steelers. So I'm about to get our scoreboard set up right here. So here we are. We got the scoreboard 0-0 is where we're at. Shout out to Daniel as always, my guys out here. That's a hilarious picture to have up there. For those who can't tell by the Colts for the win, Daniel is a big Colts fan. Daniel has been in the chat calling for an 11-win season this year, and while I definitely disagree, 2-1 is a good start to that 11-win season that Daniel was looking for. So definitely shout out to Daniel as always for supporting the channel. Definitely appreciated. And congrats, because that's definitely a big win. Yeah, a lot to get through. I'm gonna pull the game up real quick so that I can actually be tuned in with what's going on. Um, Obviously, people, this matchup is not one that's gonna be the best time in terms of watching like entertaining, high octane offensive football. It's probably gonna be a low scoring game. Probably not going to be a lot of offense. But that being said, we will definitely be here talking about all the other football that happened because a lot did happen. As always, if you're watching this, shout out to you. Definitely put your team name in the chat for those of you who I'm not familiar with. I just always like to see um, who the fans are watching this because I talk about every football team. And yeah, while you're here, man, shout out to everybody that's watching live. Shout out to everybody watching on a replay. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. These are very important forms of engagement. I'm a Lamar fan. I'm just trolling the Ravens with this. 100%. No, I know what it is. I know what it is. Lamar's a fairly likable guy. I know there's not a lot of Lamar haters, but as a Colts fan, I know you definitely got a big game for you guys. And I don't know if you saw, but if you saw Shane Steichen's speech in the locker room afterwards, like Shane Steichen is a good coach, man. Again, I said it before any football games were played for the Colts that this guy is a certified play caller, a certified um, offensive coordinator, right? He's gonna have a good scheme. He's gonna have very good plays dialed up for the offense. Honestly, you never know with head coaches before they become head coaches whether they're actually good leaders, whether they're people that command the locker room, stuff like that. But if you see how the Colts team is playing for him, and you see how they're playing for a backup quarterback, he's clearly a guy who um, has a lot of really good attributes. But yeah, just back to that speech in the locker room, you can see how much that win meant to them. Um, and yeah, you could look at this as like this is a moment where if there's anybody that isn't bought into what he's doing in that locker room, I have a hard time imagining that's still the case because the guy's damn good at what he does. We're definitely missing him in Philadelphia, but as an Eagles fan, this is the name of the game. When you're good, your talent gets poached in the NFL. That's how it goes. But nothing but love for Shane Steichen. That guy's a great coach. But yeah, let me look through these games just to get a feel for what I want to talk about. So Chargers Vikings, definitely want to get to that at some point during this stream. Maybe I should get a little agenda going and throw it in the chat to uh, make sure I don't lose it. So Chargers Vikings is something I want to talk about. Bills Commanders, I don't have a whole lot to say. Whoa, Devontae Adams touchdown on 4th and inches. A Devontae Adams touchdown. Well, goddamn. I think both teams exchanged 3-and-outs to start the game, and then I think this is the next drive. So this is the third drive, and 7 plays, 74 yards. Number 20, who I believe is Patrick Peterson, had no clue where the ball was. No clue at all. Not in bad positioning, but if you don't know where the ball is, it's as good as not covering the player at all. So, yeah, Bills Commanders. I don't have much to say. Saints Packers. I don't know. Um, I don't know how compelling that is to talk about. Maybe if there's any Packers fans in here, we can get into that. But I'm good on that. Falcons Lions, not the most chatty one. Titans Browns. That was That was a game. That was a game that I think there could be talking points for. Ooh, Texans Jags for sure. Add this to the agenda. Patriots Jets, nope. Broncos Dolphins, 100%, 100%. Broncos Fins. Oh, Carolina, Seattle, a little bit. Oh, Indy, Baltimore. That has to be spoken about for sure. I'm definitely going to be hanging on to that game because I think at some point we'll get Surfer or Peter on here. So we'll talk about the Baltimore game when the Baltimore Ravens fans trickle in. So I'm gonna save that. Indy, Baltimore. Yeah, Panthers, Seahawks is worth talking about. Um, I got some things to say about that. Cowboys, Cardinals. Oh hell yes. Cowboys, Cardinals. Yo, Mertaz, I see you backstage. Once I'm done typing this shit, I'll get you on the stream. Uh, Bears, Chiefs. I'll be real. I don't have. I mean, Mertaz is here, so we'll talk about that game at some point. So yeah, that's what it is, people. I'll get this comment in here. Uh, this is the agenda. At some point, we will talk about all these games, and it'll be a good time. So, uh, what are we doing? I'll get Mertaz in here. Yo, Mertaz, what are you saying?
Not not good.
I
But
hear
yeah,
you.
how are
I
you?
hear you. I hear you. All good, man. Pretty strange day of football on this Sunday, man. 70-point game happened. The Cardinals beat the Cowboys. Bro, the Chargers and Vikings both tried to lose a football game, but somebody won. Um, yeah, man, a lot of shit happened. I'm pretty happy with my day of football. I know this is random and it doesn't really you know, it doesn't involve anybody. But I went to a ball run at 10 in the morning today for the first time in a long time. I have not played basketball the way I did this morning, so I was dead tired for the whole day. So I was just chilling, laid up, did nothing, just watched football all day. It was a very satisfying day. So, um, yeah, man, I'm feeling good.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not. I lost all of my bets so far.
Ooh, yeah.
Uh, to like to give you a count, about around 13. So that's not good. At least my
Was it
fucking
a lot of stupid shit?
no, it was a lot of smart shit. Like like
No,
I
I mean
missed
like
out
the
on.
stupid shit happened in the game for you to lose.
Yes, Lamar Jackson sold me,
Yeah.
bro. I hate that guy. He's a running back. I don't care. I hate
Yo,
him,
hold up. Yo, look at Daniel's icon picture. He's feeling the same way you're feeling.
bro. I hate Lamar Jackson, bro. I needed one Zay Flowers yard to win like 6 parlays. I lost all of them. I had 48 and a
It's
half
rough.
over. He got 48. I hate my life.
It's rough in the streets, man. Shout out Leon as always, my guy.
And DJ Moore had 3 less receiving yards than I needed. He dropped a 40-yard bomb, and he had one reception that I needed, which he dropped a pass for. Like
Damn.
everything that could have went wrong for me.
Yeah. No,
I
man,
had
it
an
was a crazy Sunday.
insane kicker parlay, which was guess
Yeah.
what? Around 55x on sleeper,
Jeez.
55x, right?
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
And Justin Tucker, of all people, missed it,
Oh my goodness. Really? You got caught by that too.
bro. 50. I had $10 to win
Yeah.
$550,
Yeah.
and Justin Tucker and Lamar Jackson sold me.
That's a crazy set of players to do the selling too, because those are guys that you think you can rely on. So that's tough for sure.
Exactly.
That's tough for sure. Daniel says we defended him well too, by the way he got sacked the most times in his career. Yeah, that's crazy. I'll be real. That's super crazy.
They
I,
were
I didn't
fumbling
think
like
the Colts
crazy.
secondary. I didn't think the Colts secondary could hold up the way they have been this year. That's a big thing for me. Because like I know that they had players. Oh shit, Calvin Austin bomb touchdown on 3rd and 7.
What? Really? Let's go. Okay, I needed Kenny
Yes.
Yards.
Oh, there's a flag on the play, and the Steelers players. It looks like it's on them. Ooh, that's rough. That's rough.
This g-
Wait,
this
no, they're
guy
hugging now. They're hugging
this
now.
guy
Okay, I
had
think.
this guy I know had a Calvin Austin parlay with Devontae Adams touchdown, so he's gonna go crazy.
Oh, he's eating. Yo, the referee's mic's not working. Oh, it's holding on the defense. Yo, yo, that's crazy. But yeah, so I knew the Colts front seven still had players, but bro, I didn't know about that their secondary would hold up the way it is. So they definitely have a respectable defense. We still have players out my bro in defense. This isn't our best defense. Well, goddamn. But yo, the fact that they got that win with Gardner Minshew, right? Because bro, Eagles fans saw
Wow,
how
yeah,
difficult it is to play with Gardner Minshew last year, right? We did okay
yeah.
in Dallas, but the game against New Orleans was brutal. And even in this game, bro, like Gardner Minshew did Gardner Minshew dumb shit. Like he stepped out of the end zone, just gave 2 points away in a close game where those 2 points meant everything, right? Um, Teams did dumb shit, but oh yeah, also by the way, Leon, congrats on that first Patriots win. I called the Patriots beating the Jets. I don't think that's a hot take though, because I think the Patriots always beat the Jets, and people knew that. But yo, did you see the? I think there was a Hail Mary at the end where the Jets could have won the game.
I didn't see that. No.
Did you see that? Yeah. So it's like the ball bounced around on the Hail Mary, and there came a point where a Jets player had a chance to catch it, or at least I think that's what I saw. I saw it in passing on a highlight. So Leon, you can let me know if that's actually what happened. But yeah. No, it was a crazy day of football, bro. Like,
It
if I
was
told you
crazy,
that
bro.
we'd see a team score 70, we'd see Gardner Minshew beat Lamar, we would see Joshua Dobbs beat the Cowboys. If I told you we would see the Texans smack the Jaguars, like legitimately beat them up,
Bro,
to see Nick Chubb have his knee snapped, and then the Browns just turn around and slap the Titans. Bro, it was a crazy day of football. Oh, and then again, the Chargers and Vikings, they both
that
tried to lose a
was
football game, and somebody had to win just because both teams can't lose. But they were both trying to lose a football game. Bro, it was a crazy Sunday, man.
it,
Crazy.
it was insane. It was actually insane.
Even for my
That
fantasy
Chargers
team.
game, bro. That
Yeah.
Chargers game, bro. That decision to go for it on fourth down there, like, just just wow. No words.
Yeah, bro. I don't know, man. With Brandon Staley, again, I just feel like he's in over his head. Like it's rough. It's rough.
He
Oh
used to be my
shit.
guy as well.
TJ Watt blew that play up. That right tackle got bullied. Is that Colton Miller? He got bullied. No, that's some random guy. Okay, that makes sense how he got bullied then. But yeah, man, shout out Manager as always. Um, but yeah, so Murtaza, do you have anything to say about the Bears game, or is that one that you're just gonna move past?
Bro, it's just fire everyone. That's all I had to say. Like,
I think that's where we're at. Yeah.
bro, you know what the craziest thing is? I didn't even
Yeah.
think Fields did too much wrong today. Bro, there was just nothing he could do. Everyone was covered. The Chief defense is really good.
Yep.
People were dropping wide open passes. Legit.
Yeah.
Like Claypool, more like it was just a dumpster fire.
It was one of those games that it felt like, this is over. It's just a matter of when it actually officially ends. But this shit is over. Like, as far as Aberflus and Getsy and Poles, like this unit, it's done, right? It's just a matter of when guys now, depart the organization and new guys get brought in. But I think we've already passed the point of no return, right? Obviously, people just
Yeah,
don't get
yeah.
fired immediately. But
The only thing that gives me hope is Kevin Warren. He's the president we got. He was a Big Ten commissioner. He was originally the Vikings, like team president that built the stadium for them, which is the best stadium in the NFL.
yeah,
So that's the only hope I have. He seems like a really smart guy. He was the guy that brought UCLA and USC to the Big Ten. He's the guy that
yeah,
did that. So my hope is he's just gonna find the right GM, the right head coach, and staff. I really want Ben Johnson from the Lions. That dude he's special. I
yep,
think so.
I
And
agree.
we get that. We have 2 first-round picks next year. Trade Fields because it's not that I don't believe in Fields' talent or whatever. It's just not working out for him here. Like He just needs to move on for his sake and our sake. Get me Caleb or Drake, and then we move
Yeah.
on from there. We'll likely have 2 top 5 picks, so you can get
Yo,
a franchise left tackle, franchise quarterback, and or like the best
franchise
receiver
wide
to
receiver.
come out of college in 10, 15 years. Like you get 2 of those things.
Yep. Yep. That's the thing. Like they're at again, like this is a point where just don't fuck this opportunity up giving it to somebody that's gonna have to grow and get better on the job and like learn from mistakes on the fly. Like that is a good thing. That's a good thing to have happen when you're in the position the Cardinals are in, right? When you're in a position where the Bears are, where like it's time to start winning, just get certified people in the room. Get certified people in those jobs. Your GM should have some type of a track record, right? The coach should have some type of a track record. Just there's just no way you waste this opportunity. Again, like you said, you have a chance to have 2 top 5 picks, whatever you can get back for Fields. You start a rookie quarterback contract window for 4 to 5 years. You have some decent pieces like on the roster, so it's not like you're working from ground zero. Even though it looks like it, you're not, right? So the potential for a quick turnaround is there. You just have to get it right because like
Yep.
that's really what happened. The potential for the turnaround to happen this year was also there. It just didn't happen because ultimately they got it wrong with the guys. And that's a mistake that was made a couple years ago, but it takes time to see actually the result of what happened. And like you have enough information now to see clearly that the evaluation was wrong. You gotta scrap it, make another evaluation, and this time get it right. This time make a higher percentage higher, um, and just get somebody like I said that's certified.
Ben
It's tough.
Johnson, man.
It's tough as a fan when it comes to GMs because you have no way of evaluating like assistant general managers. There's just no way you could do that reasonably as a fan. But like you said, when it comes to a coaching staff, you can actually look at these things and get a pretty reasonable understanding of who's who. And I think Ben Johnson is somebody who'd be great, right? And I think we actually talked about this on Sarcasm City on NFL Talks, the other football show last year when we were talking about offensive versus defensive head coaches, right? And I just think when you get a young quarterback and you have a defensive head coach, it puts you in a tough spot with your OC position because look at Buffalo, right? Like you have Dayball, he's great, but if you have a great offensive coordinator in the NFL, oh shit, Kenny Pickett just threw a pick six that got dropped. Marcus Peters just dropped a touchdown. My goodness. That was a house call that
He's
he just dropped.
he's had a mare there because he lost Devontae for the touchdown as well. No, the what's his face, Calvin Austin for the touchdown.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this is so a complete miscommunication, right? Pickett throws as if the guy's gonna run out. The guy runs up the field. Peters has nobody around him. He just has to catch this, and it's 6 points. That's a bad fuck up. But yes, like talking about the defensive coaches with the young quarterbacks, right? You get your day ball, he's gone. Now you have to get the next evaluation right. And it's just tough to get these evaluations right, right? Because like ultimately, right, the Bears in a similar position, I don't think they got the evaluation right with Getsy. I don't think the Bills got the evaluation right with Ken Dorsey. It's tough to get these things right consistently. And then when you do get it right once, that guy's probably gone within 2 years. So now when you're talking about developing a young quarterback, it's just not an ideal circumstance. I think that kind of a head coaching setup is better for like an experienced quarterback. But when you have a young G that you're trying to, really get the most out of, I think you give them the guy as the head coach, you give them stability. There's an understanding that these guys are going to be there for as long as they could be together for 15 years if things break right. And I just think having that type of connection is it's good for young QBs. So you go get Ben Johnson, somebody who's got the absolute most out of Goff. I would argue that like the main difference between this Goff and like early Rams Goff is just that like McVay had some at that point, I think, better pieces around the quarterback. But in terms of actually getting quarterback play out of Goff, this guy's done a similar job to Sean McVay. This guy's been a highly touted prospect for 3 years now. Because I first heard about Ben Johnson when he first got that job. Like, this guy has potential. Then I saw it work out well, and then as we all know, he had an opportunity to leave the Lions and interview for head coaching positions, and he turned it down because he didn't like any of the teams. He knows he has that type of clout within these circles to where whenever a good opportunity comes up, I know I can get it. So when that kind of prospect is out there, somebody that's interdivisional, so you've gone up against him 2 years or 2 times a year, you should be very familiar with who he is. The guy fucking threw a pass to Penei Sewell to win a game last year. Like, outside of the box thinker. This is the guy you want to get um for a young quarterback, if that's Caleb or May, or even if it's Fields, right? This is
He
just the
he
kind
did
of guy you
say
want.
he
What's
he
that?
was like, yeah, I could get something out of Fields. Like he literally said that last week.
That's hilarious. There you go, people. There you go. Should they have drafted a QB this year? Not really, because the prospects this past year, I don't think were like one, regardless of how it turns out, right? Because you can sit here and act like you can predict the future with prospects, but you can't. You can evaluate prospects for who they are, right? The prospects in this upcoming draft are better prospects than last year's quarterbacks, right? So it's not a bad of a mistake, because I don't think Fields versus the quarterbacks last year as prospects is a huge gap. I think the prospects next year, there's a gap between them and Young, Richardson, whatever, plus Fields. Like, there's definitely a gap in who the players are as prospects. So I think they did fine not taking Bryce Young, because that's what the decision is. You either sit there at one and take Bryce Young, or you trade out of the pick. They picked Fields over Bryce Young. We don't know yet that that's a bad decision. Um, and I think, given the quarterback class this upcoming year, in my personal opinion, it's definitely not.
Yeah. I mean, like if you look at the quarterbacks this year, Bryce Young is QB4 in this upcoming draft. If it's Shador, Drake May, Caleb Williams, Bryce Young is QB4. Like as an NFL prospect, because you already see one game in, this guy's already hurt. 2 games in, he's arguably out. He's apparently also out for next week's game.
Yeah,
Like a
and
small quarterback like that is bound to get hurt.
but also fuck the injury, right? You also see that he needs development, because the offense functioned a lot better with Andy Dalton. A lot
Yeah,
better.
facts,
A
facts.
lot
He did,
better.
he did,
Bro.
he did not look good in that
I
offense.
don't think that offense still has much, but Andy Dalton showed up and got the absolute most out of it, not by being a great player, but just by being a vet that just ran the offense properly. And now you see, like, actually what that offense is supposed to look like. So, and that's the thing, right? The same way Fields needs development, Bryce Young needs development. Bryce Young has his own injury issues, right? Like, bro, it's not that big of a deal, like that gap in prospect. And again, like, in my opinion, right, I don't even think it's that deep to get like the absolute best quarterback you can, because that's tough. Because, like, how can you look at some a team and just say, you know what, you don't have a Mahomes kind of guy, so don't settle until you do. Like, you'd put yourself in a really stupid position where you're constantly cycling through quarterbacks. Just get a quarterback that's good enough to win a Super Bowl with a good team, and just go from there, right? Like, build, continuity, build like a good leadership group, and just go for it. So that's the thing. Like, the position that the Bears are in, regardless of whether they trade Fields or not, by this time next year, they should have a guy. And if they don't, somebody really fucked up, which is, again, like, kind of something I'm stating again, like I did early in the year when it comes to the Bears. It was like, yo, if the Bears offense isn't good, somebody fucked up. Somebody has to go. So it's like, same thing. If the Bears don't have a guy at quarterback this time next year, somebody fucked up. Yeah, it's just time for the somebody's there to stop fucking up. Like, it's time for those guys to get gone and to get somebody else in those seats, because there's only so much fucking up you can do before opportunities run out. I've been watching NFL since 2006 and have a lot to learn still. Yeah, so that's the thing, Daniel. One, the NFL is, like, obviously, like, it's a fairly complicated, like, very detail oriented thing, but then also it's continually evolving. Like, if somebody was incredibly knowledgeable in 2012, they're not incredibly knowledgeable anymore, because the game's changed quite a bit. So football is in a constant state of evolution. There's a lot of information. Um, but look, it's fun. If you love the game, it's fun to get into this stuff. It's fun to learn. And that's part of the reason I have this channel here, is just to have these kind of conversations. AR5 back next week with another tough game versus the Rams. Yo, I'll be real. I think that that game against the Rams is an opportunity because if you can beat this Ravens team, you can beat the Rams. Now, like it doesn't work like that to where you're guaranteed to win it, but at the end of the day, you have it in you, especially with Minshew at quarterback to get that win. Um, so yeah, again, like yo, if you can't feel bad about where the Colts are if you're a Colts fan.
Yeah, man, they're surprisingly good. I don't know how, but they are.
Yeah,
Also, can we talk about Stroud? Like, what the
yeah.
hell, man?
Yo,
This
Stroud's
guy
been,
looks unbelievable
but yo, you know what
in
it is
all three
though.
games.
Yep. Yo, we talked about this. I think both of us mentioned this when we talked about the Texans in the season preview. Like, yo, it's not a bad team
Yeah, we did, we did, we
necessarily,
did.
right? Especially offensively. And they don't have an offensive line yet. Their whole offensive line is hurt. But it's like, yo, if you put CJ Stroud in a Niners like scheme, yo, he should be able to play because that's catered to him, right? And again, I don't like I said, I didn't think the Texans had the best weapons, but Nico Collins is a serviceable receiver in the NFL, right? Tank Dell looks like he's gonna be that. I don't know what John Mechie is yet. But you have two receivers. You have Dalton Schultz again, a serviceable tight end. This is again like we're not talking about how good Houston is. We're just talking about the fact that it's not like Houston's shit. They have serviceable weapons. I think they have a good running back. Um, I
Yep.
think their offensive line is shit right now, but it'll get better. But yo, a lot of pieces are around Stroud. It's just all about whether that offensive coordinator that's getting his first crack at being an offensive coordinator. It's about whether he's good or not, right? And I think he's kind of showing that he's pretty respectable. And for CJ Stroud, games 1, 2, and 3 to look this composed and this like not rookie like, it's really encouraging for that team. So yo, you look at that division, right? You feel good about CJ. We still have a lot of growth ahead of Anthony Richardson, but you feel good about Richardson. You feel good about Trevor Lawrence. And then you have the Titans who have Will Levis for their future. And so tough spot for them to be in that division.
Yeah, man, it looks nice for them. Like, I really think they could, bro. They could win a decent amount of games, like 5, 6 games.
Yep.
Like
Yep,
everyone's
bro.
talking about, oh, Cardinals are gonna get number one, number two pick. I don't know, man. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I agree. I agree. I think we both it came up for both of us in the preview as well. Like I thought the Texans would pick like that pick would fall somewhere between 5 and 8. Completely disagree that it was going to be 1 to 2.
Yeah,
Um, so I think 5 to 8. It could even now go from like it could
10 to
be like
15.
bro, like it could be like 8 to 15 kind of a thing, right? Again, we'll see about injuries, but like I said, I think they're only going to get better because like Stroud should get a little bit better as the season goes on. The offensive line should get healthier, and then everybody should kind of develop more chemistry with each other. So that offense should get better. The defense should get like better in the way of like D'Amico Ryan's. Obviously, I think their personnel just is what it is. But this is a team that should get better. They play in a division where there's a lot of winnable games. So we'll see what happens, man. I definitely think Houston is in a
Bro,
much better
look at
place than they
this.
were last year.
Look at this, right? They have the Falcons, the Saints without Carr, the Panthers, the Bucks, the Cardinals, Jags
Yeah,
again at home, the
yeah,
Broncos, the Jets without Aaron Rodgers, the
yeah,
Titans twice, the
yeah,
Browns and the Colts. Bro, they
yeah,
could win. I see at least like 7 wins right there. Legit, like
yeah,
so 7 winnable games. You
yeah.
know,
It's reasonable. It's definitely reasonable.
the only not like games I think they won't win, like for sure. I think the
Yeah,
Bengals, which is like in week 9. By that
yeah,
time,
yeah,
Burrow will be healthy, and that offense will get cooking. But as of now, I don't know, man. They could beat any of these guys. Like Stroud looks
it's not a
so
tough.
good,
It's not a
and I'm
tough
so happy
schedule.
because I was always Stroud over Young. I said, bro,
Yeah,
I don't care. Stroud's a better prospect than Young, and he's showing
yeah,
it.
yeah. Yeah, and I remember us the conversation we had about Stroud talking about how Stroud is like undoubtedly the highest floor of all those QBs, right? And now you're starting to see like his ceiling is probably higher than a lot of people thought. So you have a good prospect, all things considered.
High floor, high ceiling, man. That's a nice spot to be in.
Yeah, no, for sure. And like I think what we're seeing with the Niners is like they're kind of putting out the blueprint on how to be good in the modern NFL without a quarterback that's necessarily a runner. Like obviously Purdy's mobile, but he's not a runner. And just like Stroud, like he's not a runner at all. Like he's not stiff as hell. Pause, but like he's not a runner by any means, and that's the trend in the NFL. Like everyone's trying to force defenses to commit defenders to stopping their quarterback from running, and that's how they open up. Garoppolo throws a pick right after a big play to Devontae Adams. This game low key has more moments than I thought it would have. I thought it'd be a very dull affair, but we've got two deep touchdowns, some turnovers, a drop pick six. It's lit out here. Shout out
Bro,
Sunday
I
Night
need I
Football.
need a lot of yards in this game, and which I'm getting. So
Yeah,
I'm happy, man.
you're in a good spot. You're in a good spot. The Texans always beat the Jags. I did not know this. Fuck this. Okay, as this channel gets bigger, right? I want to come up with like a Google Docs or some shit to keep track of the like, oh, this team tends to beat this team, like
Oh yeah,
to
yeah,
have a
yeah.
tracker of that, right? Because like, so I know the Patriots tend to beat the Jets. I know that like the Eagles beat the Giants, the Cowboys beat the like. There's just these things, right? Oh, the Browns beat the Bengals. There's these things, but obviously I'm just not tapped in enough. If the Texans always beat the Jags, if that's the thing, we got to add that to the tracker. So like, as we get more and more fans in here, one day I'm gonna put together that like this team tends to beat this team tracker because that'll help just like to understand the landscape of the NFL. Yo, Murtaza, in the NFC North, are there any like matchups that are like that I maybe don't know about? Like obviously, like we know about
Mm.
like the whole Aaron Rodgers thing. He owns the Bears shit, but aside from that,
Hey, come on, bro. Well, what like that's not
bro,
necessary.
bro, my bad. All right, fair enough. Continue.
That's unnecessary.
Bro,
I'm
I'm saying
already going through it
outside of
now,
that, bro. I hear you.
bro.
I hear
Like
you.
you didn't need to mention that. What's
But he's
understood
gone.
doesn't
He's
need to
not
be
in the
said.
division. He's not in the
Doesn't matter.
division anymore.
That's
He's not.
it's still unnecessary.
All right,
That's
I hear you.
that's
I hear you. Yo, my
come on,
bad,
bro.
bro. My bad. My bad. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm hurt. I'm like I'm go. We
I
lost
hear you. I hear you. I
41-10.
hear you. Nah. I hear you, bro. I shouldn't be kicking somebody
Oh,
when they're down, man.
how depressed, man.
Uh, bro, it gets like that. Oh man, like, yo, don't look at what Daniel just put in the chat.
Whatever, Daniel. You support Chelsea. It's fine.
Yeah, it's peak. It's peak. It's peak. Um, but yeah, I definitely gotta come up with that tracker at some point. All right, fuck it. Let's look at some of the games. You mentioned Chargers Vikings, right? So my thing about Chargers Vikings is again, bro, both those teams are dumb as hell. They both deserve to lose. Unfortunately, somebody had to win. Um, what I will say though, I think Staley probably made a decent adjustment in terms of just like the way he left Tyreek Hill on an island against some of their corners. He didn't quite do the same for Justin Jefferson, so that was good. But bro, ultimately, like I'm baffled with how not great that defense is for how much talent they have and the fact that they have a defensive head coach. That is a very bad sign, I think, for what they have going on. And bro, it's just like if you have Khalil Mack and Bosa on the edges, you have Derwin James, and you have JC Jackson, who's like he looks cooked now, but the point is like you don't have bad personnel, but you just have a bad defense, it seems. And again, like
Yeah.
Cousins he moved up and down the field and he's gonna fuck up. So that's why they're not gonna actually capitalize. But the Chargers defense, I don't understand why they're just bad, but they genuinely are. And then offensively, obviously, like I hate that Mike Williams is hurt just because like he seems like one of those guys that's always hurt. And like I have no issues with him as a player. And he seems like, you know, interesting skill set because you don't get that many jump ball receivers anymore. But he really is just a player that contested catches for days. So that's cool, but just obviously he had a major knee injury, so that sucks. He's probably out for the year. Um, enter stage left Quentin Johnston. It's your moment now. Your team needs you. You got to be good. But yeah, man, that Chargers team, it's like if they don't have Eckler, they can't really run the ball. Even when they do have Eckler, they can do some things and they can run the ball, but like that's still something that I feel like you should have known you needed a second running back, even if you have Eckler. And you know with Eckler's injury history that at some point you're gonna have to play without him. But you have this offense where your running game is entirely injury dependent, and then you have a defense that's suspect, even though you're spending a lot of money on that side of the ball. It's tough. And look, Keenan Allen has been healthy so far this year. He's a guy that tends to go out at some point as well through injury. So you're 1-2. You very well could be 0-3. There's a lot more shit that could go wrong for you this year. It's just looking bad in LA, man. So it's rough. We'll have to see if they can get into the playoffs. I still think they probably will crack it, but like, yo, it's one and done. I've never been more sure of a team being one and done if they make the playoffs. And again, like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
a
yeah.
point where I just feel like it's over for Staley. It's just a matter of
Mm-hmm.
when he actually gets fired. So, but we'll see what happens, man. I think Kellen Moore probably gets that job.
Who? Kellen Moore?
Yeah,
Interesting.
because he's the
Yeah,
OC. He's the OC, and apparently, like the GM or the owner, somebody is a very very big fan of his, and he's already in the building, and he just got there. So I could see that being the succession plan.
yeah, just hire, upgrade, like yeah, that makes sense. That makes
But
sense.
yeah, man, you have any other thoughts on the Chargers? Because that's just why I'm at with that team, man. It's really frustrating, really fucking frustrating team to watch.
That it was just hilarious, man. Like the Chargers tried to charge her, they were charging. Brandon Staley was Brandon Staley, but let's talk about the team on the other side of the ball.
Yo,
The
so here's the
bum
thing,
ass
right?
Vikings, man.
Yo, I think
Oh
you made
my
a
god.
yo. That's a perfect transition you just did, right? Because like you're talking about how both teams did what they did when the Chargers turned the ball over on fourth down. I was like, yo, the Chargers are always going to charge it, and then Kirk threw a pick, and then I was like, yeah, and Kirk is always going to Kirk as well, right? Like it's so hilarious that like. I'm glad you're transitioning to the Vikings now because, yo, a lot of what I had to say about the Chargers, I have to say about the Vikings as well. Another really like a franchise that's just so frustrating because like it doesn't really matter who they put on a football field. They're just gonna do some janky, stupid shit. And like I'll let you get into it because I could tell you were building some momentum. So get your shit off about these Vikings.
Bro, these bum ass Vikings, man. It's just I'm so glad everyone's catching up to them now. They lost again. I think they're gonna start. They face the Panthers next, which the
Yeah,
Panthers played Seattle pretty competitively,
the
and
offense looked better with Dalton.
legit. So apparently Young is out for that as well. So who
Yep.
knows? Maybe some shit can happen. Some shit can happen there because it's at Carolina as well. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And after that, they have the Kansas City Chiefs. Well, they're just gonna get blown out by them. And then they have the Bears at home. Well, at Soldier Field, I should say. So,
Yeah.
and then after that, they have the 49ers, then the Packers, Falcons, Saints, Broncos. Bro, until that Broncos game, I only see one win for them.
Yeah, and bro,
Legit.
they're the kind of team that like any given Sunday they can lose, right? So even in their good matchups, I look at it like, yo, that could be a loss, right? So,
What'd be hilarious if like they
yeah,
went 11-0 in one score games last year. If they went
yeah.
the opposite this year, I think it would be hilarious.
Yo, 0-3, 0-3. They're off to a great start in that regard. 100%. 100%.
It would be so funny. I need that, man. We need that. But I kind of
100%.
need them to get like 3 or 4 wins, or even like actually not 3 or 4, like 5 or 6 wins. So
Yeah.
they're moving on from Kirk. So I can't have
Yeah.
them be in the good quarterback sweepstake.
100%. Also, yo, I think they're gonna fire their general manager. I don't know
Oh yeah,
that
yeah,
based on
yeah.
information. I just think they will because yo, he's done such a shit job, right? I think the Vikings team he inherited had more talent than it does now, which is always a bad thing, right? Because he showed up when there was Dalvin Cook, and he's not there anymore. And now they have Madison and Cam Akers, who are just like different flavors of mid, right? Um,
Yep.
that team had like again they did fairly well in the wide receiver position, but I don't think he drafted Justin Jefferson, and like that
No, he didn't.
organization always has great receivers. So like cool, right? You have Addison now, cool. He traded a lot for Hawkinson, and Hawkinson's not the problem. Like he's a good player, but you traded premium compensation for a tight end just to pay another tight end when you have two receivers. Like it's you got you, it's hard to find a lot of home runs that GM has made while he's been on that team. So um, I think that guy has to go. If they keep him, that's a really bad decision by the Vikings. But everything should blow up there in terms of like the GM. Actually, I think their coaching staff. I mean, I don't know. I think the coaching staff is like it's 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 not terrible. It's not particularly good. They're kind of in a middle area where I actually don't know if they would get fired. Um, I think the OC is fine. Oh, sorry, the head coach is fine. I think Brian Flores, I actually think he's done a good job. I just think he has no talent. He has absolutely no talent defensively. That Vikings depth chart on defense is ass. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
so like, bro, I just that's gonna blow up. Obviously, Kirk's gonna be gone. Um, big parts of the roster probably have to go. You got to cut Madison. I don't know if you are gonna want to keep Cam Akers after you see him play football. Um, bro, they're basically just gonna have Justin Jefferson, their two offensive tackles, Addison, and literally nobody defensively to go forward. So they're in a tough spot. But bro, it is what it is. This is Minnesota. They do it to themselves. They do it to themselves. So we'll see how they fare in the
It
offseason.
is what it is, man. And the icing on top would be when they lose Jefferson and he requests a trade or some shit. Like
Bro, it's
I would
inevitable.
I would
It's
be there no
inevitable.
matter what.
It's inevitable. Like which one of the Vikings' great receivers ever actually finished their career there? It never happens. So like he's on his way. I mean, I hope he doesn't end up in a place like Buffalo because I don't think that's really worked out for Diggs on a personal level like that. But yeah, man,
You should go to
he's gone at
Kansas
some
City.
point.
Imagine them too. Woo, woo, woo,
Yo, that
woo.
actually be so much nonsense, man. That would be so frustrating.
You know what
Yo,
I would love if we
yo,
drafted if we got 2 first round picks, right? Like let's say we
yeah,
have picks 1 and 3.
yeah.
If we get Caleb with the number 1 overall pick and like Drake May sitting there, I'd be like, hey Vikings, you want the number 3 overall pick for Justin Jefferson? Hey,
Yeah,
I'd
that'd be
test the
wild.
resolve, man. I'd
That'd
test
be
the resolve.
absolute. Yeah, that would be absolutely hilarious, and it'd be so wild. Um, but yo, if they hire the right GM for that trade, like some dumb shit could happen. The interdivisional thing probably fucks it up, but bro, like you just never know. There are a lot of GMs in the league that actually don't value high end talent like that. It's crazy, but
Mm,
it happens a lot where teams look at these great players and think, well, if we can't get them on a deal financially, yo, fuck it, we'll just go find another great player. And those GMs tend to be wrong. So we'll see who they hire because I think that guy's gone. But yeah, man, it's just that is what it is. The Vikings are just scrubs, and we know that, and that's just gonna stay the case. Um, so Titans Browns, right? The reason why I think that game is wild is because I think it goes against a few things that I thought I knew about those teams. So I thought that Tennessee could walk into the year as a like midseason tank candidate, even though they kind of pivoted their approach in the middle of the offseason. But then I watched them play and I'm like, all right, they're a scrappy team. Like they're probably not going to get blown out a lot. They're probably not going to win like that either. But like they'll be competitive. They'll probably have an upset win at some point this year and then like some bad losses too, right? But
mm-hmm.
bad losses still being in close games. The fact that they got blown out by Cleveland without Nick Chubb is madness to me, right? Like Deshaun Watson is just out here playing like ass low key, right? Like I think a
He
lot of
is.
people are
He
saying
is.
he's like it's underwhelming. It's not underwhelming. It's ass. It's crossed past the point of like, oh, he could be playing better. No, he's legitimately playing bad, right?
Yep.
So you have that as the case. Um, you have look, I think Jerome Ford is a good NFL backup, right? Now that he's the starter, it's underwhelming. But he's a good backup. And he can play football a little bit. Yo, he had 2 touchdowns. Like a lot of the Browns receivers, right? They have young talent, but it hasn't quite developed yet. It hasn't gone the way you would want it to go with Donovan Peoples Jones. They traded for Elijah Moore because it didn't work out for him in New York. They have Cedric Tillman, but he hasn't done much so far in his rookie year. it's not like Cleveland has this like high octane offense. The thing that made their offense dangerous is no longer there. Their defense, which I actually do respect, you know, the 3 points on Tennessee's part is like whatever. It's disappointing, but like I said, like you can respect Cleveland's defense. The fact
Yep.
that the Browns scored 27 on them is crazy. And like,
Yeah.
if you're Tennessee, bro, like, what do you do? Because on one hand, you feel like you want to compete, you want to be good, you beat the Chargers, whatever, right? But yo, when you see a game like this happen, like, what is the point? Just blow it up. Like, why? Like, there's just you don't hold on to Derrick Henry and Kevin Byard, and you don't sign Nuke to lose to this Browns team. So I think that's an interesting team to watch for the next couple games. Because like again, I will never put it past them to blow this shit up because they are at a really weird point of like roster turnover. They have like a lot of young talent that could use developmental minutes, and then they have these random old veteran players, and they're just like they seem like a directionless team. And I think games like this make that part look even worse. So let me just look at this the schedule real quick while you. Oh, okay, so hold up, yo. The next games for the Tennessee Titans: the Bengals, the Colts, a divisional game on the road, the Ravens, and the Falcons. So they got a tough 4 games, bro. If they go 0-4 or 1-3, and you're now looking at like either 2-5 or 1-6, how do you not blow it up?
Yeah. It doesn't make sense.
But how
It
do you not blow this team up? And here's my thing, right? They play the Bengals next week, week 4, right? My thing is like I low key think the Bengals are going to lose to the Rams because the Rams are like low key competitive with like a lot of teams, and the Bengals are just playing like shit, and Burrow is not healthy at all. So it's like if the Bengals are 0-3, bro, like they're gonna get that fourth, like they're gonna get the win in the 4th game. Um, But before I continue with that, man, we just got the redirect from
Yeah.
Sarcasm City. So big up Flawless as always. Shout out to everybody that ended up here from the redirect. I think you guys just came from a United Chelsea Spurs show. So that must have been, pretty
Woo.
good fun for everybody um, who's tapped into that. But yeah, man, shout out to you guys for ending up here after the redirect. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you sub to the channel. If you guys like what's going on at Sarcasm City, this is very much the same kind of content because it's largely all the same people from Sarcasm City. So if you want to support what we got going on, man, we're developing a bit of an ecosystem with different channels that focus on different sports. So make sure, man, if you're not interested in American football and this is something you're gonna close this stream in about 5 to 10 seconds, man, just hit that like button on your way out. If you guys are obviously fans of American football, tap in with us because we talk about every team. We talk about the league as a whole. So whatever you might like, it'll come up. Um, and if you have a vague interest in following American football, but you haven't started yet, man, tap in with us because this will be a pretty good place to start. You can ask us questions, you can get things clarified from us, and we'll definitely be helpful. But yeah, I got the people trickling in the chat, man. Shout out Daniel, shout out Joel, shout out Shakar. I saw Shakar was at the Giants game, man. That must have been rough, but I mean, going to football games is still dope. Yeah, man. Shout out Daniel. I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that. Again, I don't know if you're an American football guy, but if you're just supporting for the sake of supporting, much love, man. Much love. Joel says a lot of reality check games this week. I agree. I think the Cowboys game was a big one. I think the Cowboys game is a huge reality check. Yeah, we kind of got caught up there with the redirect talking about the Titans and the Browns. But yo, Martaza, if you don't have anything else to say about the Titans, we can get into the Cowboys game because like, what
Yeah.
better
Yeah. Let's
game
do
to
that.
move to with the audience here, right? We have a lot of people. But yo, the Cowboys, like this is what it is. This is the deal with the Cowboys, regardless of how good they look, regardless of how hopeful it appears they are about being real contenders. Games like this happen all the time. People, I am an Eagles fan. My dad's a Cowboys fan, so it's like I've been closely watching the Cowboys um, as a rival, but then also just because they're on in my house all the time for my whole childhood. It's like I've watched this team very closely for a long time, as a lot of people have, because they're like a team that's on TV all the time. They're the media darlings. But it happens every single year. For 20 years of just my life that I've been seeing this shit, it happens every single year. If the Cowboys look good, just give it some time. The bullshit
Yeah.
always happens. Just give it some time, yo. They played a Cardinals team that is trying to lose football games. I don't care what anybody says. That organization is trying to lose. They got rid of their quarterback before the start of the season to take a guy who got cut by the Browns. This is a guy that could not make the Cleveland Browns football team. They took him and said, "Yo, we're going to start you." They got rid of all their like established talent. They're just young players that are hungry, that want to, get better, and fringe NFL guys who might not be in the league in 1 to 2 years that are just fighting for contracts, right? They are a very like they have a very low level of talent, but they have like a high level of motivation and whatnot. But like still, they are trying to lose football games. Like Shakar is saying, they want to tank, as we saw against the Commanders and the Giants. They tricked off games that they were winning. They were winning against the Commanders at halftime. They were winning against the Giants at halftime. They lost both those games. They were winning again against the Cowboys, but the Cowboys couldn't get the comeback done. Why? It's not like Trevon Diggs is the gap between what they looked like last week and what they look like this week.
Yep.
They're just the Cowboys, man. Like Mike McCarthy is a suspect coach. Dak Prescott is a suspect quarterback, and the pieces around him can only hold the fort for so long. And that's what you saw today. You saw a game plan that didn't get Pollard involved enough. You saw the Cardinals shockingly be able to cover the Cowboys receiving weapons that were fully healthy, right? Um, you saw Dak not be able to flourish against the Cardinals. Come playoff time, he's going to be going up against significantly more talented teams. But bro, this is just what happens with the Cowboys when the expectation starts to build. When people start pointing out how good the Cowboys are, this game always happens. I saw an article about a week ago talking about, are the Cowboys the greatest defense ever, right? And then Josh Dobbs went and played a pretty good game against them. James Conner looked good. Hollywood Brown and Rondell Moore, they made plays. This is just the story of the Cowboys. If you're new to this sport, if you don't understand really what's going on, um, the Cowboys are like the Knicks. Right? They're that kind of an organization. So this is always
Yep.
going to happen. Don't be fooled with the fact that people always want to talk about the Cowboys, because there's a lot to be gained. If you're in the media space, if you are making football content that the public interacts with, it's very fruitful to talk about the Cowboys, because it's a huge fan base, they're a huge market, and you will always get numbers talking about the Cowboys, good or bad. So people tend to like to exaggerate their point regardless of what it is. If the Cowboys are doing good, people like to gas it. If the Cowboys are doing bad, they like to bury them, right? The Cowboys were doing good, people are always going to gas it. They gassed it to an unsustainable level, bro. Now they're gonna get buried. This is just how it goes. So I thought that game was hilarious. Shout out to Arizona for fucking up your Caleb Williams. You're fucking up your chances of getting Caleb Williams just to give the Cowboys a L. I appreciate that a lot as an Eagles fan. It means a lot to
Yep.
me. I like you guys a little bit more now. There's a random contingent of
Oh my
Eagles in that
God,
roster.
Kenny.
They really held it down for me. Shout out to Floss as always. The redirect came through, super clutch. If there's anyone here that's not from the redirect, I think there may have been like 5 to 6 people. Man, make sure y'all head to Sarcasm City and subscribe there as well. 9K coming soon. They lucked
Fact.
out last year getting the Bucks in the wild card. Big facts. The Bucks were not a playoff caliber team. Cowboys played Niners in a couple weeks. I think it's going to be worse if they play like they did today. Yes, 100%. 100%. Bro, like the Niners, I think you saw them kind of sleepwalk against the Giants, and they still got the job done, and they still won by 18 in the end. Um, if they show up and even play an average game, Dallas has to play like a perfect game to beat them. So that's just what it is. There's levels to this shit, and Yeah, I just like the way when expectation builds up for the Cowboys, I start to relish what the fall off is going to look like because I know it's going to be sensational. It's kind of like Arsenal
Oh
that
yeah,
way. When the expectation builds with Arsenal, I get excited because I'm like, yo, the disaster will be phenomenal to watch. It's the same thing with the Cowboys. So that's what it is, man. Murtaza, what do you think?
Bro, it's the same old thing, man. Like they have ultra talented players. Like Micah Parsons is just like insane. CD Lamb, in my opinion, is one of the best receivers in the league. That dude is a route running like god. But he only had 4 catches today. Like Dak just can't throw the ball. Like when there's pressure, when the stakes are high, he's just not it. And you saw it with that red zone interception. They had a chance there. You score right there, right? You make it a 1-score game, and then you get a stop because your defense is that good. Then you can go and score again. You can try and win the game. But I don't know if you guys seen the still and that screenshot of Dak when he's trying to aim for who was it on their team? I don't know who he was trying to throw to. The new guy. He's a veteran. But you're muted. You're muted.
Oh, in this game, it would have been Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cooks, exactly, right? So, but he was triple covered. He threw into triple coverage. Like,
Oh yeah, for the pick, right?
Yeah. It was.
Yeah. Oh, it was disgusting. That
dumb
read was
decision.
terrible.
But they were running the ball well with Pollard. Like he had I think 10 or 12 carries for 120 yards. Like they're running the ball, but they just didn't get him the ball enough. They didn't get him involved in the pass game like I thought they would get him. And it is what it is. It's the Cowboys, like it's expected at this point.
All right, yo. Looking at some stats to further like drive the point home. Actually, looking at it, right? I didn't realize they did hand the ball off to running backs 27 times. Pollard got 23 carries. Rico Dowdle got 4. Right? They got over 140 yards out of those 27 carries, which is a pretty efficient rushing output. Averages out to 5.3 yards per carry. And 27 rushes is a decent number, right? But the problem is that Dak Prescott threw the football 40 times. If the passing to rushing ratio is 40 to 27 against a team that you're significantly better than, it's a stupid approach to the game. You play like that if you're a little bit insecure about whether you can put enough points up, right? And even still, I think the Cowboys actually, because of Dak Prescott, don't have the ability to like get into shootouts with good teams. But like the point is like while they should be running the football regardless, they should like even more so be running the football against bad teams. So the past 40 times versus rush 27 times against the Arizona Cardinals is absurd. It's an absurd game plan. And Mike McCarthy threw Kellen Moore under the bus about like, he wants to run up the scoreboard and he wants to score points, but I want to run the football and win games. It's like, well, you did exactly what you criticized Kellen Moore of doing, which I don't even necessarily know if he actually did. So I think they're in a really rough spot in terms of the fact that like I said, the coach and the quarterback, which I think are the two most important positions in the NFL, I think are both suspect and are both people that have been on fraud watch for a long time and are not players or not people that I think are actually like going to come good. Shakar says, do you think them getting Trey Lance kind of shows they're ready to move on from Dak soon? So I think that the way you worded it is a little bit too strong, but I look at it like they're basically showing that they're at least looking at what their options are, right? Because trading for Trey Lance, I think, is more of an opportunity signing. One thing I would like to like make clear about Trey Lance, like to kind of like set a foundation for the conversation. If you look at the teams interested in Trey Lance, I think Baltimore was interested, right? And there was another team with an established quarterback that was interested. I think Trey Lance is at this point looked at as a backup quarterback. And I think the 4th round pick for a backup quarterback is a little bit wild, but that's what I think Trey Lance is actually looked at. Because again, like if he got traded to Baltimore and they did want to trade for him, you wouldn't say, oh, are they, looking to move on from Lamar? So, the fact that his market was essentially that of a backup quarterback and the Cowboys, if anything, just overpaid a little bit for that. To me, like it's not saying that, oh, Dak's on his way out, but I think specifically for what the Cowboys are as an organization in terms of like they like they like splash moves, they like shiny toys to to kind of articulate it that way. Like they like falling in love with things that look good. So like for them, if they think that they can get like a third overall pick who maybe has upside for a fourth round pick, they're going to do it and they're going to be happy with it. And like my thing about Jerry Jones, given the fact that he's the owner and the GM and he comes from oil money and he's just like that kind of person that this whole shit, like all of this is just like a toy to him. Like these are all just his toys to play with, right? I think when he got Tony Romo, an undrafted quarterback, he fell in love with the idea of like, yo, look at this quarterback that I found. Nobody else knew about Tony Romo. And then I found this undrafted player and like, look how dope I am, kind of a thing. And I think it happened with Dak Prescott again, a fourth round pick. Like, oh, look what I found, right? Like having these quarterbacks made him feel good because it makes him feel like he found something nobody else did and he's not even a football guy. I think Trey Lance kind of falls into that category of like, yo, everybody thought this guy's a scrub, and we traded a fourth round pick for him. Like, look what we found. So I think because he ended up in the Cowboys, they have an eye towards if Lance develops, we'll give him a spot. But I think it's not as strong as saying they're ready to move on from Dak soon. I think they're just keeping their options open all across the board because they know Dak hasn't put them in a position where they cannot keep their options open. So, like, that's where I'm at with that. What do you think, Murtaza?
Yeah, 100% agreed. Like, they're just a dumb organization. Like, I wouldn't say dumb. They're a very arrogant and stubborn organization. Like,
Yep.
they're gonna stick by, what they
That's
like.
perfectly worded, yeah.
It's like Jerry Jones is the kind of guy like Dak. Okay, listen to me. Dak is not a great QB whatsoever, but he is a fantastic dude. Like he does so much off the field work and all that. And like the
Yeah.
Cowboys, as much as they are about winning, they're like they're a media darling. They
Yeah.
generate all this money. They're the most valuable franchise in the world, actually.
Yeah.
Like most valuable sporting team, right? So with all that money, like that off the field work and all that stuff, the PR that comes with it is good for them. So they take that into account as well. Like that's why when you saw in the draft, they drafted one of the coach's sons. I don't know who it was.
Yeah, Deuce Vaughn, his dad
Deuce Vaughn,
scouts
yeah.
for them. Yeah.
Yeah. So like like stuff like that, you see that type of stuff from them all the time. Like so that's why I don't think they'll move on from Dak anytime soon.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they basically put themselves in a position to where if Dak plays himself out of the job, which is possible, they have a guy to turn to, right? Like I think that's more what it is. Like let's just give ourselves something to turn to if shit goes left. But I think I actually think they're gonna give Dak a contract this summer. I know that they were looking into an extension. I'm gonna pivot from the scoreboard and look at this contract real quick. Dak Prescott spell track. I was looking at the deal. I think it's time to pay Dak. Of course, my internet's going to be stupid while I'm up here. So yeah, so this is the thing, right? He's going to be entering. This year, 2025. Well, I'll zoom into this. These are void years. So these are here as basically a way of bookkeeping to manage the salary cap. This contract ends after 2024. We're in 2023 right now. Dak is entering the last year of his deal. You don't enter the last year of your deal with a quarterback. Like that's just a bad circumstance to be in. So I think they're going to give Dak Prescott a new contract. I don't know if it'll be a long-term deal. I don't know how rich it'll be, but I do think they're actually going to give Dak a bag because also like the Cowboys suck today and they're probably going to suck going forward at some point, and they're probably going to have a frustrating playoffs for Cowboys fans. But I think they're going to have a good year on the whole. Like I think Dallas is going to win a lot of football games. They might even win a playoff game, right? Like I think Dak is going to do enough to get paid if you're a team that likes him because, like, the Cowboys, they already made their mind up about the fact that they like Dak, right? I think he'll do enough to confirm somebody that already has that bias or confirm to somebody who already has that bias that he's like at least like something worth holding on to. So I think Dak's going to get another contract. Might not be like a 5-year deal, might be a 3-year deal. But yeah, I don't think Garoppolo got bent backwards. Is that a fumble? I guess not. Yo, Garoppolo's ankle's already fucked up. That is not a good. Ooh, Garoppolo has having a hard time walking. Yo, yo, don't play Brian Hoyer, man. Just put the rookie in. Fuck it. What is there to lose? Yeah, I'd rather watch Aiden O'Connell than Brian Hoyer. Yo, that right tackle is getting cooked by TJ Watt, and like, yeah, you have to start chipping TJ Watt or something.
Bro, it
Uh,
doesn't make sense.
this is
Today,
facts. This
on
is
our
facts. You
third
should
round,
go.
uh, third, our first third down of the game, right? We're at the 40-yard line,
Yeah,
our own 40-yard line. Chris Jones is lined up against Darnell Wright. They
yeah.
chipped the other side. That was our offensive game plan today. They chipped George, what is his name, Karlaftis, whatever, right?
Karlaftis, yeah.
They didn't chip Chris Jones. He was lined up as a right end. Makes no sense.
No, it's crazy. It's crazy to see some of these game plans. Like, yo, even what's it called? Every now and then you'll see a team's offensive scheme put a tight end one on one with an edge rusher, and it's like, what are we doing here? Like in the NFC Championship game, when a backup tight end was blocking Hassan Reddick on the play that Brock Purdy got hurt. Why is that the case? I saw it a couple times as well this year. Um, Sometimes stupid offensive schemes doom a team before anything even happens. And the fact that this right tackle is on an island with TJ Watt over and over again, it's such a shitty game plan. Derrick Henry sold for me on fantasy. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Where did you draft Derrick Henry? Just curious, but yeah, I think it's a rough year to end up with Derrick Henry. I don't have him in any leagues. I expected shit to be spooky for Tennessee. I thought last week was actually like, oh, maybe I'm wrong, but I think this week it makes me feel, you know, more and more strong about the fact that like that team's on the brink of blowing it up, whether they want to admit it or not. Like you can sign Nuke and keep your vets and like run away from the grind, but you got to blow that team up at some point. Um,
Mhm.
Watching Najee Harris get this run, right? There's a conversation I've been wanting to have about Najee Harris. And the conversation basically is like, are we sure this guy's good at football?
Bro, like he was so good his rookie year. He's just
Yeah.
gotten worse and worse. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
Matt Canada or if it's just this guy. He has no burst. He's not entirely physical. He's
Yeah.
not a great third down back. Like, what is going on? I had
Bro, this is the thing.
such high hopes
He's
for him out of Alabama.
yo, I loved watching him at Alabama, right? But I think in hindsight you can look at it and say he's probably one of these players that benefited the most from like the fact that Bama has great receivers and a great line, right? And again, like he had a good rookie year with Pittsburgh, but also like Pittsburgh over the years has had, you know, some good offensive lines, some good weapons, right? Whatever. Um, if you look now, Najee, how he plays with a bad offensive line and you know a passing game that's not effective, this guy actually cannot do anything. Like he is a running back, the creases need to be there. Um, he needs to get the looks in space. And obviously, like it's not like he's a third down back or anything, but like if you're gonna throw the ball to him, he needs room to run into. Like he's a running back that you need to do everything for. He's not doing shit on his own. And like unfortunately, things can change quickly. I think at that point you have to look at this running back and say, why do we have to have you on the team? Because we can get guys that, you know, do a little bit for themselves. Like there's times where I'm watching this Warren guy behind who's the backup, and I'm like, yo, I swear to God, this guy has like 100 times more burst than Najee. Najee is
Yep.
slow, man. Najee is slow. It's just I'm at a point where it's like I just don't know if this guy's good at football anymore. And it's rough. It sucks. I like him, he's cool. But it's tough. It happens quickly for those kind of backs, man. If you're a back that
Yep.
already doesn't have explosion and like you're close already to like just being a statue, it can happen quickly. And now all of a sudden you look up and like you're barely an asset for a football team anymore. I think it was the third or
Yo,
fourth round.
real
Okay, that's
quick,
not too bad. If you took Henry round one or round two, bad pick. But round three or round four, that's fine. What are you saying, Murtaza?
bro, there is around 57 people watching, and we're at 14 likes. Come on, we need at least 60%. And hit the subscribe button, man.
$100.
You're getting all this great content. Hit the likes and hit the subscribe button, please.
Big facts.
Get
Big facts.
before the second half kicks off. Get us to at least 35 likes. There's
Yo.
57 of you watching right now. We can get to at least 35. Come on,
Yo,
people. Help the
14
channel
for
grow.
57. That's Dak Prescott throwing a football conversion, man. What the hell is this?
It might be even worse. It might be worse. Come on, people. I know you could do better. You know you could do better. Come on.
Nathan Peterman shit. It might be Nathan Peterman shit, bro.
It might be Lou Getzey stuff, man, with these design runs that we've been calling. Guess how many we called today?
1.
2. You know, it's an improvement from last game. So, you know, that's good.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope. That's nice. Joel says Devontae Adams would have been better off in Green Bay. Nah, you know what it is? I think Devontae should have been traded somewhere else, and Green Bay should have gone about differently. Like, they should have had a different plan for the wide receiver position. Just drafting like 5 guys in 2 years is like not the way. And obviously trading Devontae to a team that has no quarterback and hasn't had a quarterback the whole time I've been alive watching football, that's also a rough spot for him to be in. So
legit,
yeah,
bro.
man. Nah, I think everybody lost in that trade. No bullshit. Every single the Raiders didn't have a first round pick last year because of the Devontae Adams trade, and they sure as fuck need young talent. So like, yo, everybody lost in this trade.
Bro, like, also, people are hyped about this Green Bay team. Bro, they were getting blown out 17-0. Derek Carr got hurt. They would have lost by 30 today if it weren't for Carr getting hurt. And fucking Jameis Winston had to come in, you know? So, like, people are getting hyped about Green Bay, but they played the Bears week 1. They lost and blew a lead to the Falcons, and they were getting destroyed by the Saints until Carr got hurt. So I'm excited to see this because you know what it is? Jordan Love, he's like a Derek Carr, like, you know, like even worse. He's one of those guys, like a Jimmy Garoppolo. He'll get you like 6-7 wins. So I want them to continue like this because I think they'll get enough wins for them not to get a good pick, and they can't draft a good quarterback, and like for them to stupidly pay this idiot. Because they're in that year now. Like, I think they have to accept either the 5th-year option or sign him to an extension. And man, I'm so glad they're going in this direction.
Yeah, yo, they did that random bumper extension, remember, instead of the 5th year.
What did they do?
So yeah, they basically signed him to an extension that was like, it was lesser than the 5th-year option. Because the 5th-year option is just one number fully guaranteed, right? It's lesser in terms of guarantee, but there's incentives to make it higher than the 5th year. So like, that's what they did. So that part's already sorted out. He's going to be there for his 5th year, right? My thing about Jordan Love so far is that like, yo, he's just running the offense. Like, please don't get overly caught up with just like people talking for the sake of talking. He's just showing up. And as somebody who's been studying this offense for 3 years, what you can credit him for is the fact that he knows what to do on the football field. But he's not out there throwing people open. He's not out there making plays that are just like about what he did. He's simply just has a very good understanding of what is supposed to happen in the offense, and he's going out there and making sure the offense runs the way it's supposed to run. It's not that far off from like you pointed out Garoppolo as a comparison, right? I think Garoppolo's job in San Francisco was to do the same thing. And like, yes, Garoppolo got to a Super Bowl, but we look at him as not a particularly good quarterback because we know that his role was very small in that offense. And he did it at an okay level, right? Jordan Love, thus far, that's all he's done. And the reason why the offense doesn't look good is because, like, it's not a particularly great offense because Aaron Jones and the offensive line is the only thing I look at, and I'm like, yeah, they're solid, right? AJ Dillon, I don't think is good. Their receivers, obviously Watson hasn't played, but they're just like, regardless of whether they're good or not, they're just too young. The whole team was drafted um in the last 17 months, right? But the whole wide receiving group was drafted in the last 17 months. He's just showing up and just whatever the offense gives him, he's taking it. Like you give him credit for again understanding what to do, but bro, he's not doing anything special at all. So I like what you brought up with Garoppolo because like while I think probably Packers fans wouldn't like to hear that, but that's what he's done so far, and that can get you to a Super Bowl. It probably doesn't win you one, but like that's what you have so far. So I agree with the general outlook you have on their situation.
Yep. It is what it is, man. I'm just happy, bro. Like for the first time in 30 years, they don't have a Hall of Fame QB. It's nice. It's a nice feeling.
For sure. Because here's the thing, right? Like let's look at these love game logs real quick. Cool. So week 1, right? 15 for 27. Week 2, 14 for 25. Week 3, 22 for 44. You're talking about like basically completing your passes a little above 50%. You haven't had much in the way of yardage because it's 245, 150, and then 259. I guess again, like the thing people credit with him with is the fact that he hasn't been turning it over, right? He only has 1 interception so far, but again, like he's
Bro,
not.
the one he today, it
Yeah.
was so bad. Like it was so bad. He missed like I think 3 guys for like gains of 40 yards each.
Yeah.
It was not good.
Yeah,
It was
I'm not
good.
surprised.
Let's not forget.
I'm not surprised.
Bro, he has Mike LaFleur coaching him, who has a brilliant offensive scheme. Like I used to think it was just Rodgers, but bro, his offensive scheme and his creativeness is actually really nice.
It is. And that's what I'm saying. Like, he's just running the offense, right? And that means not taking risks. So, like, he's probably not going to turn the ball over a lot because he's not going to put himself in that situation a lot. But the trade-off with that is like, again, you have a quarterback that, like, talking about Najee Harris, right? My point with Najee Harris was like, you have to do a lot for that running back. He doesn't really do much for himself. Jordan Love, kind of like the same point applies to him as a quarterback. A lot is being done for him, and he's again just like following along with what the offense gives him. But he's not out there making these plays off of his own brilliance. And again, he won't throw interceptions as long as he's very conservative within that offense. So, again, like he's not even particularly young. He's been in the league for a while. He's just been sitting on the bench. I don't know. I think he's going to be a guy that probably stays in the NFL the way Garoppolo has stayed in the NFL, but I don't think he's the quarterback that you want to build your Super Bowl contending team around.
100% agreed, bro. 100% agreed. I'm just happy they have him because they'll never be good enough to win like consecutive playoff games, but they'll never be bad enough to move on from their quarterback and get a good pick. Like they'll be the Raiders. They'll actually be the Raiders.
Yeah. No, I hear you for sure. But yeah, people. Again, like a lot of you guys are in here. If you guys are football fans, again, I'd love to hear what teams you guys cheer for. Always a point of curiosity with me. I know Shakar is a Giants fan. I know Joel is an Eagles fan. Who else is in here? I know Daniel's a Colts fan. This is a different King Kelvin than the Kelvin that used to do the basketball content with us. Who else is? Oh, I know Leon is a Patriots fan. So I know some of the fans in here and who they cheer for. But I'm curious about the rest of you guys. If you guys do have American football teams, you can drop that in there. If you guys are interested in college too, you can drop that in there as well. We'll probably get some college watch-alongs going. I was out with my friends watching the college football yesterday, so I wasn't going to be doing any of that. So, but yeah, the games were good.
Colorado, man, heartbroken.
Bro, it is what it is. Like they just don't have the linemen to actually compete at a certain level. So like it's just gonna happen. Um, yo, I have a question though, because like I've been hearing this a lot, and I'm curious about like other people's opinions. What do you think of Shador Sanders' mobility?
Yeah, I've seen that question a lot. Funny enough, like people are saying like he's actually Eli Manning level agility.
Yo,
I think he's mobile. Like I don't think he's slow.
yeah,
I just don't think he's agile. If that makes
yo,
sense.
that's the thing. Like he's not a runner. Like he's not that kind of quarterback. He's actually like in like the CJ Stroud area
Yeah,
of like
he is.
kind of a quarterback, right? And like one of my friends that watches college football was like, he made a point that like sounds kind of crazy when you think about it, but you're like, yo, like stylistically, he has a lot that's similar with like West Virginia Geno Smith. And I'm like, oh yeah, well, but like Geno Smith, like not that kind of quarterback you want to be compared to in the pros, right? But again, like separating the prospect from what they turned out to be, like for what Geno Smith was at West Virginia, like it's not. He was kind of making a point that it's similar to what Shador is at Colorado, and then like in terms of mobility, right? Like again, Gino was not, especially when he was young, he wasn't stiff at all. He could move, but he's not a runner. And that's
Mm-hmm.
the thing with I don't think people are like factoring with Shador, and I don't think that makes him like a shit prospect all of a sudden. I think he's still very good prospect, and he should still go very high in a draft, right? But like, yeah, I just think like because again, like you see a quarterback that literally forget even like other kind of preconceived notions because like he's a black quarterback, but even just because he's like a flashy quarterback, right? Like, and he moves in the pocket well. I don't think people realize that this is not the quarterback that falls in line with a lot of what teams are trying to do with like the quarterbacks that run and can get designed runs and force the defense to respect them on keeping the ball with handoffs out of shotgun formations. Like he's not that quarterback at all, man. Like so, I just want people like I'm curious as to what other people think, but I do agree with like especially with the way Colorado's offensive line got exposed against Oregon. That's the thing people probably have to keep in mind is that with Shador, he definitely is going to need a good offensive line in the league.
Yeah, 100%, bro. I think like I think he's a bit better of a prospect than what CJ Stroud was because I think he has a better arm. Like he is,
Yeah,
and he's more risky. Like if that makes sense. Like he's a more of a risk taker, which
yeah,
makes him
I
a
get
better
what you mean.
prospect in my opinion. So
I get what
yeah,
you mean. Yeah,
but that's still like a really nice spot to be in because you see what Stroud's doing in the NFL. He's setting records.
yeah,
Like he's in the category with Herbert and Mahomes. That's really good category to be in because they just got paid crazy amounts of money. So if he's anything like those guys, you're in really good company. So
yeah,
I think yeah, he's solid, man. I think he's gonna be good.
yeah. I agree. I agree. Um,
Second half
did you
kicked
watch?
off, by the way.
Did you watch Ohio State Notre Dame?
Yes, I did.
Hell of an ending, people. If you guys want to
Crazy.
get a feel for what a college football game is like, and they're kind of crazy. Oh shit! What the fuck happened there?
And that's a flag.
That's a flag. Did 55 end up catching it off? Like, was that a would that have been a pick if there wasn't a flag?
No, I think it hit the ground.
Okay, cool. Why is he holding onto the ball like that then? What?
There's no foul for unnecessary roughness.
Okay.
Can you pause your stream like 5 seconds?
Yeah, no problem.
Here, I'll like when the clock's running, pause at a certain time. Then I'll catch
Okay,
up
so
to
I
you.
literally just paused it and like waited for 5 seconds. So they just showed the slow mo of Adams getting smacked.
Yeah, it hit the ground.
Yeah, because I didn't really catch what happened. But yeah, so they're showing McDaniels with the play sheet over his mouth, and now they're showing Garoppolo. I'm probably
We're
like
we're
what a
perfect.
couple of
Synced
seconds.
up,
Oh, it's perfect. All right,
synced up,
dope.
synced up.
But yeah, 3rd and 10. Vegas is down 6, starting the second half
Ah,
off with the ball. The man goes short of the sticks on 3rd down. What do you know? You know what I'm saying? Just standard Garoppolo business.
I need some Josh Jacobs rushing yards, man.
I hear you. Yeah, I hear you. I was looking at the games that I wanted to make a point to get through for this stream. Texans Jags. So we already talked about the Texans. For those of you who who weren't here before, man, we talked about the Texans and how Stroud deserves more respect. The offense as a whole deserves more respect. They're not a team that's as barren as some people thought they would be. Um, we're a team that thinks that we're people that think that that team is going to not give a first, a second, third overall pick to the Cardinals in that trade. We think that that pick probably closer to 8, 9, 10 when it's all said and done. But there was another team on that football field, the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have now, I think, played 3 games where they look not as good as what people expected them to be, or they're not living up to the gas.
Or
I
even
think
as good as last year, bro.
yeah, not again. This looks more like early last year Jaguars, right? Where like that's
Mm-hmm.
regression. And that's the thing, right? Against Indy, again, people probably underestimated Indy as a football team, but even still, that game was competitive for a long time. That game
Yeah,
probably goes down to the last drive if Anthony Richardson doesn't throw picks, because it's literally his first football game ever as a quarterback that needs to develop as a thrower, right? So, that's a fortunate thing that goes their way, but they played, a competitive game with the Colts, and then they played a game against the Chiefs, who got 2 players back for the first time and are going to have 2 players that should have some rust. And, their defense, holding the Chiefs to 17 points, that's solid, but the offense getting 9 points it's horrendous. Right? That
mm-hmm.
offense is way too good to be getting 9 points, especially with an offensive head coach, right? And then this game where both the offense and the defense have to definitely look at themselves and say, we had a terrible game this week. You got to look at it like this, right? They held Mahomes to 17 points and then held Stroud to 37. Like, how does that happen in a 7 day span? That's absolutely absurd. So I gotta look at the Jaguars and I think we deserve a pat on the back for that as well, because when we talked about the Jaguars, we talked about how I was like, I like this team, but bro, I don't think they're like a different team. I think they're kind of the same team they were last
Yeah,
year. I think they're probably going to have their disappointments. They're going to have their good moments. They're going to have the ability to scare a lot of teams because they do have talent. But bro, it's like they're just a different version of last year's team, in my opinion. Now, I didn't think it would be like this. I just didn't think that they took a step up to a different tier. I didn't think that they took their team to the next level. And I got some pushback from a Jaguars fan in the comments, and I know he's probably not tuning in, but this is kind of what I was talking about. Your defense is not impressive. They have good pieces here and there, but as a unit, top to bottom, not impressive. Um,
100%, bro. I think a lot of what people had him hyped for is not only the additions they made, it was their own players improving. Like that's what the big hype was about. Like
yeah,
year 3 of Trevor
Trev,
Lawrence, year 2
yeah,
of year 3 of Travis Etienne,
yeah,
another year with Kirk,
yeah,
Calvin Ridley, obviously, and then their defense improving.
yeah,
So, but I just don't think really their quarterback has improved. I think ETN looks better, but the
yeah,
quarterbacks, in my opinion, got worse from how he finished the year last year. Like
hundred
he's
percent,
not had a good start. He's missing
100%.
guys. He's undershooting them. Like there was a chance for him to tie the game, but he underthrew Calvin Ridley. Like
Yeah,
I think it's hit on him a lot as well.
no, 100%.
Yes, Pickens, go Pickens.
Oh, score. Oh, come on. Yeah, he's on my fantasy
Oh,
team.
I
I need a
needed that.
game.
I
I
needed
need a
that
game
save,
from him.
bro. And also, wait, did I hit my pick? Did I hit my parlay? Wait, hold on. Chill out, loud. Chill out. Yes, come on, man. 4.67x, $20 to win 93.40.
All right, let's go. Big winnings, big winnings.
Big winnings, bro. Let's go. All right, now I need this, man. I need 28 Josh Jacobs rushing yards. I need around 40 yards from Kenny and 13 all-purpose yards from Najee. Is that too much to ask?
Wait, 13 all-purpose yards from Najee, and then what were the rest?
40 passing yards from Kenny. Actually, not even
Yeah,
40. 36. And then, but 28 Jacobs rushing yards.
the Jacobs one is the toughest one,
Yep. He's going to
but
fucking another pause.
yeah, that's the toughest one. But it's not like unreasonable because it's possible in one run if he gets, like he just needs to break one. So um,
Legit.
yeah, it's not a terrible spot to be in.
Bro, the Steelers are the worst rushing defense in the league right now. Like, they've given up so many yards. I'm surprised they're keeping them this quiet.
Yo, you know what it is? I think it might be the Raiders because they Josh Jacobs had -2 yards last week.
Okay. Okay, Najee, come on. Keep chopping at it, big boy. All right. All right. I hit my parlay, though. We're feeling good, man.
Yeah, I need a Pickens touchdown, man. That'd be big for me.
Bro, I was 4 DJ Moore yards away from winning $70 from $5.
Yeah. All right, big 3rd and 7 here. Let's get a slant to Pickens. Peters is dropping off, deep off coverage. I think Pickens ran a comeback route, and then Pickett just throws it out of bounds. Come on.
Damn.
Yo, I saw a picture on Twitter that made me laugh. Somebody was like, yo, this is Pickett and Najee. And then it was a picture of Trent Richardson and Brandon Whedon, and I was dying. It's like that, though. It's low-key kind of like that. But it is what it is. But yeah, I'm looking through the games I wanted to talk about. I want to save Indy Baltimore for if Peter and Surfer turn up. It's probably late for Surfer at this point, but Peter might turn up. We never know. If he doesn't turn up by the 4th, we'll get on to that game.
Yep.
Panthers, Seahawks, Broncos, Fins, Cowboys, Cardinals. We already talked about. We already talked about Bears, Chiefs. So yeah, Broncos, Fins, right? We can get to that too. Go ahead. We'll do that right now.
Yeah, no. Go. Let's do Broncos first.
Okay, cool. So Broncos, Dolphins, right? All right. First of all, Miami, right? Of course. Yo, team looks good as hell. No Waddle, and look, here's the thing, right? The Broncos defense isn't good this year because fuck this result, right? Sam Howell gave him 30 points. That doesn't happen last year. A reason why I don't think they're good this year is they had a big change at defensive coordinator. Ejiro Evero left, and Vance Joseph entered. And Vance Joseph, I didn't know for sure wasn't good, but I think we can say probably pretty ass right now because he has good personnel and that defense sucks. But nonetheless, right? It doesn't matter how much a defense sucks. To give them 70 points, bro, that's just, I don't even like ass whooping is not, like, it doesn't do what happened on that football field justice. Obviously, great result for them. The defense looked decent too, like held Denver in check. Even in garbage time, held them in check as well. So like they're playing well. But on the Broncos, like that franchise, I know they have Sean Payton, and like I'm sure Sean Payton won't be bad. But like, I don't know if having Sean Payton is enough to feel good about where that organization's at. Like, they have very rich owners, but in a salary cap sport, that's not that big of a deal. They already did their big spending on a coach. They'll probably do some additional facility upgrades, but like,
and they also spent the most money in the off season. Like,
yep, true. And like, again, when we talked about Denver, I remember talking about how like, they spent money on the offensive line, but I still don't know if that shit's good. And like, that shit's still not good. They can't really run the ball like that. Obviously, Russ isn't anything special anymore, but like, they don't really keep him clean either. You could say that you could reasonably critique every part of that offense. You could critique the weapons for the fact that they're not good enough. You could critique the offensive line in terms of run blocking and pass blocking. You can critique the quarterback, and you can critique the running backs. Everything needs an upgrade. So they're in a rough spot there. They don't have like they don't have free agency money like that. Obviously, the Russ deal is a big deal, but you also paid your offensive line a lot of money. So even when you get the Russ money off the books, they're probably gonna give Judy a contract, right? Like they're not gonna be a team with a lot of money when they, get out of this cap hell. And like I want to reiterate, like they have good pieces defensively. They're bad because the defensive coordinator. This defense actually has like enough to be at minimum like a good defense. So the fact that now they're getting 70 points hung on them is, bro, that team is in hell. That team is in a different kind of hell, man. What do you think? You.
Yo, sorry, I was gone for a
No,
second.
no. All good, all good, all good.
Bro, yeah, I caught the end of what you said. Bro, the Broncos, look, man, it's been a tough weekend for Colorado. After what went on in Oregon to the 70 burger, it's been a horrible weekend for Buffs Broncos fans.
Yeah.
And Sean Payton, it's been kind of cheeks since he got there. I mean, it's not all his fault. Players aren't executing, but, that Russell Wilson trade is getting worse by the fucking day. Like, it's looking bad, man. And, with the weapons they have, I think Sutton's a good receiver. I think Judy is, really good. They just look awful, man. And, yeah, man. And that defense, bro, Pat Surtain is, I think, one of the best corners. Like, they're just horrible, man. Like, I don't know what this team is. It's so bad. Mike McGlinchey is awful. They paid like $80 million for him.
Yep.
Bro, I don't know what's going on with them. I don't know what's gonna go on with them. And the thing is, they're fucked salary cap wise. They can't win football games. And they're 0-3, right?
Yeah. Hell yeah. They didn't.
Oh my god.
They didn't win in week 1 against the Raiders. They didn't win week 2 against the Commanders, which already like, bro, your season's over if you don't win those games. Big play by Devontae.
Yep.
They need points here on this drive, I think.
Yes.
But yeah, they're in a terrible spot, man.
And let's see their schedule, right? Coming up.
At least they have their first round pick, man.
Bro, the thing is, you know what the funniest part is? They lost by 50 points. They got 70 points scored at home. They go to the Bears on the road and open up as 2.5-point favorites. That just shows you how bad the Bears are, by the way. Like, that's just
they're on the road. That game's in Soldier Field.
Correct.
So they would be favorites by 5.5 if they were at home.
Correct. And they just lost by 50. But that's another conversation. Anyway, but after that, man, they have a pretty tough schedule. They have the Jets, Chiefs, Packers, Chiefs, Bills. Eesh, they could start out like 0-7, 0-8. That would be something.
That's really rough. Yeah, bro, it's rough. It's done for them. Quiet is kept, right? Because they don't even have to try to tank. They might organically tank for one of those top 2 picks.
Jimmy G, what are you doing?
Bro, what?
He just chucked
what are you
it.
doing? Bro, who? Like, what are you a rookie? Have you played in the NFL before, Jimmy Garoppolo?
What the hell?
Bro just panicked and threw into double coverage. A nice lofted pass, lots of air underneath it so everybody there can read where it is. And of course, being that there's 2 DBs, they have twice the odds of getting the ball compared to your teammate. That's just bad quarterback play, people, and that's what you get with Jimmy Garoppolo. That's very much the problem with what they got going on. But yeah, I mean, I think we've said what we have to say about Broncos fans. So the thing about the Seahawks Panthers game, right? The thing I wanted to touch on that we've already spoken about is the fact that like obviously Andy Dalton's like not a particularly good quarterback, but the offense ran much better with him. I still think what they have around him is like, or what they have around the quarterback position generally, it's limited, right? if you look at Hayden Hurst and Miles Sanders at those two positions, right? You're talking about guys that are definitely probably like two of like they're definitely in the top 32 at their position, so they deserve to be starters, but they're on the lower end of the
Yep.
top 32. Um, Thielen, DJ Chark, those kind of players, right? Like they're fine. Like Thielen and Chuck should be NFL receivers and they should be starting. But again, they're on the lower end of what an NFL starter is at their position. But yo, Thielen had 11 catches for 145 today against a good secondary, right? That is not something that would have happened with Bryce Young on the field. That happened because Andy Dalton played decent, right? Now, if you look at the stats, it's not like 34 for 58, 360 yards, two touchdowns, no interceptions. It's not great. It's just decent. But the point is like decent was better than where Bryce Young was at. And like, just to appropriately contextualize how much development is needed at the quarterback position, because that doesn't get, the I think the attention that it deserves. I think basically since that era of like when Joe Flacco, Matt Ryan, and Mark Sanchez all started immediately as young as rookies, and like it worked out, or at least in the fact that like they continued to start. People have kind of forgot that like for the most of the history of football, like young quarterbacks have always sat down and just learned the pro game before playing. That tends to be what's necessary. Like, um, if you look at a guy like Mahomes, right? He got a year off. If you look at Lamar Jackson, right? He played his whole rookie year. Pickens, another big play, got about 15, 16.
Let's go, George.
If you look at Lamar, right? He played in his rookie year, but he played because he could just run. Like he actually wasn't really playing quarterback like that. He was just running to be effective to win games. Like that basically was a developmental year for Lamar. He wasn't out there trying to like play quarterback the way he would go on to in year 2, 3, and 4. Like the quarterback is a very developmental position. And even beyond that, even when you get into year 4 or 5, like there is still development that's ahead of a quarterback, right? Like you look at Geno Smith, right? Geno Smith is a player that basically had a fucked up development early in his career and started to figure things out towards the end. Like that can happen, right? Um, Quarterbacks develop for like the better part of like 8 to 9 years into their careers. So just like when we look at quarterbacks, I think as a football community, we have to do a better job of like keeping track of the fact that like this is a long-term commitment that you're making. You are going to be witnessing a player change over the course of a lot of years, and to just be patient, one, but also just like understand that things are going to change going forward. So with Bryce Young, like I think we saw a pretty good example of just the fact that like, yo, it's okay if a player needs to sit because he needs to sit. He's not a quarterback that's going to run around like Lamar to justify being on a football field early in his career. The guy's not ready to play, man. Just like let him sit on the bench. You traded your first round pick. That's a part of it. Like you agreed to do that. You just hold the L that is going to be this season, because Andy Dalton should probably play at least until probably I think week 10, week 11. Because if you look at it, right, I think that is a very good way to go about easing in a rookie quarterback into the league if you're going to play them year one. Jalen Hurts, Tua, and even with Tua, it was a bit early. Justin Fields, Jared Goff, all these quarterbacks were eased into the starting lineup back half of their rookie year. And I think that's a good way to do it. So I think that's when we'll see Bryce Young. I think by then he might be a little bit more ready to play quarterback, and you might see the offense run the way it did with Dalton with Bryce Young. But until then, bro, it is what it is. The vet should play. The vet should play. I don't have a whole lot to say about Seattle.
Najee.
I think it was a bit of a get right game for Seattle. Last 2 weeks, Seattle has looked closer to what I thought they would be. I still think I probably overrated them a bit, but yeah, they don't look like the team that played the Rams week 1. But yeah, Murtaza, you got anything to say about that game?
Yeah, man. I'm as you guys know, I'm a Panthers hater this year. Every team that the Panthers play, I'm rooting for.
It
Even if
appears
that is the Packers, I don't give a
that
shit.
Murtaza is
You
not
know?
there. So that's all good, people.
Can you
Um,
not hear me?
we'll keep it pushing. We'll circle back to that when Murtaza is here. Shout out to
Yo,
everybody
yo,
that's still
yo.
tapped in. 37 of you guys are in here. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the channel. These are two really, really, really big ways of engagement for YouTube channels. This is how channels. Oh, bro, I cannot hear you at all. I did not know you were speaking. That's crazy. I'm gonna drop out and drop back in. You keep cooking.
All right.
Whatever you were cooking before.
Yeah. Yo, 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 yo. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you. It was me. That was on my end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was on my end. That's a
Steelers
fix.
just
That's why
scored.
I dropped out. Dropped out.
Let's go,
Yeah, I
Steelers.
seen
Steelers
that.
just scored, man.
Brian,
Big play. And yeah, I was saying about
I
the
wish it could have been
Panthers, right?
Pickens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The thing about the Panthers is, as everyone knows, I'm cheering against them this year. You know, even if it's the Packers, I don't give a shit. I'm a Panthers hater this year,
yeah,
and they don't look good. I think they're going to be a bottom five team in the NFL. And
yeah,
when you bring a guy like Andy Dalton, it's funny enough because the last two teams he's been on is development, like teams that have drafted a quarterback high in the first round, and then he's been the backup to, or like the guy that's tried to transition into that. So I think he's a decent guy for that. Like he'll get you
yeah,
a nice like foundation so your quarterback can come into. And Bryce Young is clearly not ready, man. He needs to work on a lot of stuff. His footwork is a bit sus at times. That's what I've seen. And he's getting off his reads too fast. Like I've been watching, the QB school breakdowns of him, and
yeah,
that's a couple of things he's been focusing on. And they just don't have a good receiver right now. Like, he needs a security blanket. Like, yeah, Bryce Young is gonna be a better receiver, QB than Andy Dalton in the future, but he can find guys like Thielen and Allen because Andy Dalton has had so many snaps in the NFL that Thielen's going to be open, you know.
yeah,
So he can go to him that much and run the offense like that because he's had so many snaps and so much experience. He can
yeah,
read NFL defenses better than Bryce Young at this point because, bro, people in the chat, NFL defenses and college defenses are two completely different beasts. College
facts.
isn't nowhere near the NFL.
Yeah,
Like especially in the defensive line, secondary, like the best players from college at their positions get into the NFL. Like, that's how competitive this is. Like all the players you see in the NFL, even like the 53rd best player on the roster, was at one point the best player on their team, either in college or high school. So that's why it's so much harder for these college kids to transition into the NFL right away, and it takes time. There's very few people that can just make that transition very easily, like it's nothing. So, yeah, man, I think Bryce Young needs some time, and that'll come with reps and practice. So, I think they're gonna struggle this year, and they're set up for that. And it sucks not having the first round pick next year. Oh, not for them, not for me particularly, but
Hmm.
that's the risk you take, and that's the price you got to pay for trying to get an elite QB talent, to try and develop. And their owner and everyone, like they've been going this veteran route for a while, so they finally got a good quarterback prospect the first time after Cam Newton. So I think they'll be fine for the future, but this season they're gonna struggle, man. They're really gonna struggle, and that defense is
yeah,
okay, but it's not as good as people thought it was gonna be. And the
yeah,
people that had them, like, yeah, I know the division sucks, but they're horrible as well. Like,
yeah,
people had them like winning 7, 8 games. Like, these guys are high. Like, I had their over under for wins this year was 7.5. I
yeah,
switched the lines to 5.5. Actually, I
Yeah.
think it was 5.5 or 4.5, and I took the under on that. That's my future, man. I got it like plus 50, so that's solid.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, I agree with what you're saying. You know, my only thing is like I think like for the future they're at a decent point with their quarterback position and then a few positions defensively. But yo, I actually think like part of what they did wrong this year is like they have a bunch of pieces on offense that won't actually be around for when Bryce Young is good. Like it's not like Miles Sanders and Hayden Hurst and Thielen and Chark are like guys that are going to be here for 5+ years, right? Um, I don't love that part of it because again, I just don't know who's gonna be there for the long haul. I like Mingo. I think Mingo's cool, but I literally think he's the one guy, and even with him, it's a maybe. Like maybe he'll be a valuable piece to your offense for 5 years, but like there's a
Hmm.
chance that's not the case. And then defensively, like yeah, I think they're in a really good place with Burns, but they're gonna give Burns probably a very very like overpaid is the wrong word, but like high price deal because he has
Yep.
so much leverage. So, you know, it's good to have the player, but it's probably not going to be great to have the contract. Um, a lot of their talent in the secondary, like it hasn't, like Dante Jackson's not a guy like you're going to want to hold on to for too much longer with his age, right? Um, Henderson has been a bad, like, it's been a bad outcome from that trade. I thought Henderson was a good player as a prospect, but it just hasn't worked out for him. I like JC Horn, so that's like where it is. Like I like Horn, I like Derek Brown, I like Brian Burns, I like Mingo. I don't know if anything else on that team is ready to actually like grow alongside Bryce Young. So I actually think they're at a weird place. I think the approach is really weird. So I start to look at the GM kind of sideways. And then the coach, I just don't know if this coach actually did anything in Indianapolis to suggest that he's the guy. Cause like from my understanding, the way Indianapolis was towards the end of his tenure there was a complete mess. And ultimately that's your responsibility for that to not be the case.
Yep.
Um, I think Chris Ballard is actually good at identifying talent. So I don't put Indy's good rosters at some points of his time there, like on him. But I put the quarterback position on him because you're the head coach. You're a old ex NFL quarterback. You're experience in the NFL as a coach has been in relation to the quarterback, either as a quarterback's coach or an offensive coordinator. You're a quarterback's guy. So for all those bad quarterbacks to be there on your tenure, I just think that's a bad thing. So like I don't necessarily love the GM or the coach or a lot of their plan or a lot of their players. So I actually look at the Panthers situation and I'm like, yo, this one might have to be blown up again in like 2 years. I actually think that that's what's going to happen. I think similar to the kind of the where the place that the Bears are at, right? You have new everything, and if it doesn't work, people have to go, and I think it won't work, and I think the coach and the GM will have to go. So that's what it is. That's what it is, people. I'm not that hopeful about the Panthers going forward, but I think we've got through every game that I wanted to get through, except for Baltimore Indy. So we'll get that done, and and then we'll just like if Peter or Surfer shows up, we'll circle back to that game. But yo, Baltimore Indy, um, what did you think about that game? Because I didn't actually watch much of it. I obviously have my takes on like what happened, but I didn't watch much of it. Did you watch much of it?
Yeah, yeah. I had the Zay Flowers over, so
All
every
right, the
time they
floor
were
is
on
yours. I'm gonna go
offense,
get some water, but I'm gonna hear what you're saying. Go ahead.
yeah, yeah. So basically, what happened with that game is, I think, firstly, you got to give credit to the Colts. Like going in there with, you know, in Baltimore against that offense that has looked that good for the first 2 weeks, they deserve some credit. And the way the Ravens beat the Bengals last week, very resilient in Cincinnati. So the what's his face? The Colts deserve a lot of credit, and I like Pittman, that catch in the end really good. Matt Gay was freaking unbelievable today. He hit like 4 field goals of 50 yards or more. I think that set a record in the NFL, and their defense was pretty good. Like they were getting a lot of pressure. DeForest Buckner was huge today. He was blowing up, like absolutely blowing up that interior offensive line for the Ravens, and you know it's really high props to the Colts for that. But yeah, when it comes to the Ravens, firstly, I thought their defense was very weird. They're playing a lot of off coverage, like soft defense, which I wasn't a fan of because I think if you have a guy like Minshew in there, you just gotta blitz him, man. And I didn't see enough of that. And when they were doing it, it was successful, and they just couldn't get too much pressure on him. Um, and when it comes to their offense, I know it was raining, but bro, Lamar had an off day, man. He was not good today. Like it's in the fourth quarter, like he was throwing behind guys, like he was just missing people. I didn't think Lamar Jackson had a good game. I thought he was really good running the ball, but passing it, I don't think it was the best day for Lamar. And on top of that, I think they didn't get Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews involved enough. Like they didn't find the best opportunities for him. Like they could have taken more shots. They didn't do any of that. I think like the Colts secondary is decent, but I think you could get in behind them. And I think there just wasn't enough shots in that aspect. And yeah, man, the offensive line did not play good. The Ravens also had a lot of fumbles and turnover issues, which was really bad for them. They just couldn't help themselves today, and it was a bad loss for them because when you're trying to make the playoffs in the AFC that's as competitive as that is, you can't afford to do that. So it was big win for the Colts, but really, really ugly, bad loss for the Ravens. And that one's going to stick, man. That one's going to hurt them. That's for sure. So, yeah, that's that, man. And just as an update for all the people watching this Sunday Night Football, it's 23-7. The Raiders have the ball at like midfield-ish. Devontae's had a great game. He has 9 receptions for 127 yards. Raiders is the Josh Jacobs has been slow. And yeah, Jimmy G has thrown 2 picks and he missed Jacoby Myers for a wide open touchdown, but I think the pressure got to him, to be fair. So yeah, the Raiders were favored in this game at home, and not a great outing for them so far. The Steelers have been okay offensively, but defensively, they've done pretty well against the Raiders, to be honest. Fair play to them. The run defense has been good. But yeah, I was saying on the Ravens, Alam, what the funniest thing was? Sam Mustipher played. Bro, he was bad today. He was so bad. He was getting cooked.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's not good that they have to roster a guy like him, but it is what it is. I have a question. So as a person that watched the game, why did the Ravens not pass more than they did? And why was their passing game so short? I don't understand.
The Colts are getting a lot of pressure on them. Like they just couldn't protect Lamar, and they kept pushing guys into Lamar, and Lamar was fumbling. Like he fumbled like 2 or 3 times. So
do the Ravens have a banged up O-line?
Yeah, the Linderbaum's out, Ronnie Stanley's out.
Okay.
So
the injuries came back to bite them this week, but not last week. So, bro, what does that say about Cincinnati, man? What does that say about Cincinnati?
Hey, yeah, that's.
Do you actually like Zach Taylor?
I think he's a good coach. Yeah, I just think, bro, Joe Burrow's just hurt. Like he's just clearly not ready. I think he's a good offensive coach. He has good play calls.
Yeah,
Burrow's just not there. And the Cincinnati defense hasn't been playing well either. That's another thing people aren't talking about.
Yeah, but bro, they're really adjusting to life without Jesse Bates because, like, I think with Jesse Bates and Von Bell, these last few years, they've had, if you don't want to call it elite safety play, it's like the next best thing, right? And both of them left in the same offseason, which is a difficult circumstance. And they replaced them with average players. They replaced them with Nick Scott, a 4 million a year kind of a guy, a 4 million a year safety from the Rams. Um, and Dax Hill, a first round pick from last year, who again, like with these young prospects, you never know what you're gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
So big downgrade at safety, and clearly they're feeling it. But yeah, about that Ravens game,
Yep.
like I guess the injuries caught up to them offensively. It doesn't look like they ran the ball well enough to thrive with that game plan. I'm looking at the numbers. They gave 22 handoffs. Let me get this math right. Yeah, they gave 22 handoffs to running backs for 83 yards. That's
Yep.
under 4 yards a carry. That's not good for that volume. And Leon brings up a point. The Colts front seven is still good. They have linebackers, right? With Jair Franklin and Darius Leonard, they have linebackers. EJ Speed's okay too.
Darius Leonard.
Obviously
You mean
they
Shaq Leonard?
hold up. Is it not Darius?
No, I'm tweaking. Never mind.
Oh,
Never mind.
Shaq Leonard.
No,
Wait,
no, no.
no.
It's Shaq Barrett. My bad. My bad.
Oh, okay, true. Yeah, it is Darius Leonard.
I
Yeah,
don't know. Yeah, my bad. My
it's
bad.
all good. But and then they have like Grover Stewart, who's a good run stuffer. Forrest Buckner, who we know is good. Quiddy
Yep.
Pay is like being reasonably productive. Um, and then who else? Who's that other edge rusher? Because there's one guy I'm forgetting for their front seven. Oh yeah, they got Samson Ebukam from the Niners. So like, yo,
Mm.
they have a respectable personnel, and again, their defensive coordinator must be doing a good job because they're playing well. So for the front seven to disturb the Ravens offense more than the Bengals front seven did, that's definitely impressive. And yeah, like to quickly get off of Baltimore, um, I guess we solved my concerns about their offense. Defensively, how did you let that happen to Minshew with Minshew? Like
Bro, makes no sense.
how? How? I don't understand it. And obviously, like Minshew knows the Steichen, like he knows Steichen very well because this is now their third year together um, with the same team. So there's going to be familiarity there. Steichen has been the play caller for 4 games of Minshew's career before this year. So this is their 6th game together. There's going to be
Wow. Good
familiarity
at
there.
Jacoby.
What? Oh, did he get the second? Oh, he did
Yeah,
get the second foot down.
that's
That's
a
a
great
catch.
catch.
That's a catch. But yeah, like I know that Steichen's gonna bring the best out of Gardner Minshew, but the best isn't that high. And like, bro, the guy had Zach Moss in the backfield with him, and like, Pittman and Pierce and Josh Downs and these guys who are like, I don't know, it's not like they're bad or
Yeah,
anything, but it's not like Steichen had Minshew and weapons. Like he had Minshew and like some okay pieces
damn.
around him. And they cooked against a very good Ravens defense that again has given a team like the Bengals trouble consistently. Um, so man, I just like, what is it? Like you said they did off coverage. That's a bad approach against a player like Minshew. I agree with what you said.
Yep.
Like you need to be heating the pocket up, man. You need to make it an uncomfortable place for that quarterback to operate. So
Yep.
like all around it looks like honestly it looks like the Ravens got out coached. That's what it seems like.
Yeah, bro. They're playing soft zone against that team, and like Minshew, yeah, he's not the greatest, but he's smart. He just got the ball out really fast, and they just
Yeah.
kept chipping away at it, chipping away at
Yeah.
it. Like that's
100%.
all it was.
Yeah. So I mean, look, man, I feel good about what Indy has going on. A little bit surprised with what happened with Baltimore. I figure they'll bounce back. I'll figure they'll learn from this. But look, bad week for them. Leon says, I hope you skipped that atrocious game that was Pats Jets. So here's the thing, right? I didn't include that game in my rundown. I have nothing that I want to say about it, but I did want to ask you about it, actually, Leon, because you are a Patriots fan. and you would have watched that game, I'm sure, with a level of closeness that nobody else did who's not a Patriots or Jets fan. So, Leon, I'll actually put the ball in your court. Um, if you have anything you want to share about that game, like we can build some conversation about that. But if you hope that we skipped it, then we can just keep it pushing. Because, dog, I got nothing. I have nothing. I knew the Patriots were going to win. I knew it was going to be a low scoring game. Want to know how like much conviction I had in that? Murtaza, I came so close to betting under 19.5 for the over under.
My God.
I really wanted to do it. And I was 25, so I would have been wrong. But I
Uh,
really wanted to do it because, the odds were so good. Because 19.5 is a wild bet for the over under. But I wanted to take under 19.5.
yeah, it was.
I think the game
I
was
didn't
going to be a
watch any of the
haram
game.
game.
I didn't. I apparently the what's his face Patriots won as expected. Like
Yeah.
it's Zach
I'll be
Wilson.
back in a
just sucks.
second. Just go ahead.
Yeah. Zach Wilson just sucks, man. Mac Jones ain't it either, man. Mac Jones ain't it either. Leon, let me know what are your thoughts on Mac Jones, by the way? Like, you think he's a guy? You think he's a franchise? Like, what's up? Because I'm curious. I have very strong opinions on Mac Jones. Yeah, man. When Richardson and Taylor come back, that's going to be a crazy backcourt. Or I said backcourt, like RPO options. Oh. 23-7, second down and 7 for the Steelers. They're at the 25-yard line. Pickett drops back, throws a screen pass to Jalen Warren, gets stopped at the 30-yard line, around 2 yards short of the first down.
The man said, just skip it. It's horrendous. Say less. Well, we will not be addressing that game. But people, I've addressed everything I wanted to address for this week's games. If you guys have anything else you want to talk about, you can let that be known in the chat. I'm down to talk about whatever. I just don't particularly care to talk about anything else. If there's anything that you maybe weren't around for, we talked about a bunch of games earlier. If you weren't around for that, you can let us know. We can touch on some other games. At some point or another during this stream, we talked about Chargers, Vikings, Titans, Browns, Texans, Jags, Broncos, Dolphins, Colts, Ravens, Panthers, Seahawks, Cowboys, Cardinals, and Bears, Chiefs. So if you missed anything and you want us to reiterate what our points were, we can do that. But if not, we can keep it pushing with this watch along. 11 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. This timer or this scoreboard is very off. So I fixed that for you guys, people. Anybody watching on a replay probably had a very hard time figuring out where we were, but here you guys go. 23-7. Mac Jones can't really play when the weather is bad. His footwork isn't great. No pocket composure. That's my biggest problem with him. Yeah, man, he's just like he's not it. Like he's not who you should be building anything around. He should not be getting a second contract that's like a starter contract. He's not the guy. The Patriots are always going to be in a weird place as long as they have a quarterback like him on that team.
Yeah, man, they're gonna be average with them. Interesting you say that because you get a lot of bad weather in New England, so it's gonna be cold. It's gonna be all that. So he's not gonna be great, and I'm glad you agree with that because I don't think that guy's good either. He plays in that Patriot system, and despite all that, he's ass. So not looking good for them up in New England. I know they won today, but yeah, that ain't it. But on another note, Josh Jacobs, can you please get 11 rushing yards? Please.
Is that how far away
Like,
he is now? It's just 11.
bro, he has 39. I need 50. Is that too much to ask? Like,
Nah, 11.
I know
You
it's
can
a
get
fourth
11.
quarter.
11 is like one decent run. It's not even anything crazy. So like,
Or
you,
two
you
mid
should
runs,
probably get it.
bro.
Yep.
Come on, man.
I'm out here eating chicken wings on stream. Is that part of the stream, people?
Ooh, what flavor?
I forget, but I don't know if you guys do it there, but like, do you guys have like brown butcher shops that marinate chicken wings?
No.
So like, a lot of the brown butcher shops here, like, if you go there, they'll have marinated chicken wings that you just can barbecue yourself. So like, I had a barbecue the other day at my house where like we just had a bunch of those chicken wings, and like the thing about like with brown people, obviously we're gonna get flavorings, right? So like these wings are usually seasoned real nice. They're not too battered. Like they're not even that unhealthy to eat, but like yo, they taste so good. So it's like these ones right now, like they're really spicy and they're really flavorful. I forget exactly what they're called though. But yeah, man, shout out brown people for revolutionizing chicken wings for me.
Yeah, that's funny. Grilled chicken wings is nice.
Facts.
I used to get really good grilled chicken wings at this Mediterranean spot. Devontae. This is huge for my fantasy team, man. I need Mike Evans to get me like 15 points tomorrow, and I can win my matchup.
Yo, Joel, the Commanders had one of the fakest 2-0 starts. There's a bunch of fake 2-0 starts in the league this year. And they had the fakest. For real.
Hey, big up Daniel, man.
Shout out
Take
Daniel
care,
for
man.
enjoying the stream, man. Up at 4 a.m. to tap in with us to talk about random football related bullshit. But like he said earlier, man, he's ecstatic about the Colts win. So that energy is gonna fuel him to stay up through the night. I understand it. I've been there before. But like he said, people, like the stream while you're here. Subscribe to the channel. A lot of content coming up. Oddly enough, next week we won't be having the stream because I will be in Philadelphia to watch the Eagles against Commanders next week. So we're going to see what that's going on or what that's going to be. But to make up for that, we will be doing the live stream on Thursday Night Football for Packers Lions, which is like quietly a very big game because that's probably going to be the two teams that are going head to head for the division. So the tiebreakers are very important. So Thursday Night Football, people, Lions, Packers, big game. I'll be live all game like I am for this. And the way we're talking about the outcomes of all the games, we'll probably weave in talking about like previews for all the games during that stream if the game isn't that compelling. So keep your eyes peeled, people. A lot of content coming up. Subscribe so you don't miss out. We're only going to get better at this shit.
Come on, man. Let's get some Jacobs carries. Here we go.
Here
we go. Here we go. Keep going. Keep going. Okay. Let's go.
If that's not 11, it's like 10.5.
Come on. That's huge. That's huge. More of this. More of this.
Oh, he got it. It's done.
Yes. Come on. Hey, bro. Hey, can I get? So I have 66. I need 9 all-purpose yards from Jacobs. And I hit all of my bets. Please, please, please. Please. Come on. Just throw him the ball once. Or another run. Go. Go. Ah.
Wait, how much more do you need now?
I hit one of my bets. One of my bets was Devontae over 50 yards, Pickens over 52.5 yards, Jacobs over 50 yards, Kenny 200 yards, Najee 200, Najee 50 yards. So my other bet, I've hit everything. I just need Jacobs over 74.5 all-purpose yards. He's at 66 right now. I just need 9.
Yo, he's coming through for you.
Come on, man. Come on. Please.
He's definitely coming through for you.
Come on.
Fuck, I forgot what I wanted to say.
Alam, you don't understand how
Yeah,
huge this would be. After the day I've had, bro, I need this, bro. I
sounds like it.
deserve this, bro. I deserve this.
I hear you, bro. I hear you.
Life's hard being a degenerate, man. It is. But the thing is, I don't like lose any of my money. I just whatever money I make from betting, I just bet it
You
again.
you you gambler. That's actually how you're supposed to gamble. Like you're not supposed to look at the money you make as money you made because that's when you put yourself in a really bad position. As long as you just are gambling the money that you gamble with, like you're fine. So that's the our official stance on gambling, people. Do not gamble money that's meaningful to you. Gamble your throwaway money, and then keep gambling the money you make. And just that's how it is. If you bottom out, and then reconsider whether you want to keep gambling. But if you're good enough to get some bets right, then yeah, just bet with the money you win.
Oh, come on, man. Let's see what the flag is. Woo! Defensive holding. He didn't open his mic, but what an idiot. But yeah.
Amir Abdullah, man, still one of the most random players to make it in the NFL for me.
Oh, whoa. What the hell?
I don't understand how he's still here. What happened?
There was like screen just went, the rainbow little thing he does? It just went crazy.
Oh,
All right,
yeah,
come
yeah,
on.
yeah.
We need a Jacobs carry here. Come on. Come on, Jacobs. Or even like an angle, Texas route. Something. Oh, Garoppolo. You're killing me, man. That's oh my God, Jimmy G. Porn star Jimmy, bro. Just throw angle route, man. A little Texas route, one of the McCaffrey routes. Please, come on. Come on.
I feel like with the fact that the Raiders will be playing offense for the rest of this game, the only way you're not going to get this bet is if Pittsburgh kills the clock on their next drive, which I think there's a very low chance of happening. So I do like your odds regardless, whether he gets it here or not.
Come on. Right there. You got him. You got him. Just throw him the fucking
bro, it was there.
Idiot.
It was actually there. And he took a head-to-head shot, helmet-to-helmet shot.
Dumbass, bro. Oh, God. All right, throw a screen pass now. Come on, McDaniels. Ooh, flag on the play.
Yeah, it's roughing the passer, bro.
Come on.
The drive is going to continue. I think this puts them at the 9-yard line, though. So it's either all or nothing on this play. But even if he gets like 4 or 5 here, then it's cash on the next drive.
Bro, we need it, bro. We need it.
But also, a touchdown for you, like making it an 8-point game, it'll definitely keep the starters in there.
I need it, bro. I need it. I need it. That right guard or center is high, by the way.
No bullshit, bro. Just standing around watching the quarterback get killed.
What happened to that racist guy, Richie Incognito?
Yo, I think he's like 40 now.
Okay. Oh, was a perfect chance.
Yo, I mean, he's probably going to get this goal line carry here and get one.
Come on. Come on.
No, don't. Oh, they're at the 2-yard line, so this will be 2 yards for Jacobs.
I wouldn't mind a Devontae touchdown here. In the next yard, give Jacobs 10 yards. That's it.
Toss left to Jacobs, makes the first guy miss, gets about a yard short at the goal line.
At least he got back to the line of scrimmage. We didn't lose any yards. We'll take that. Just get it to Devontae, man. Just do that. That's fine. We need some fantasy points here as well. You have Devontae as well, right?
Ooh, no, I don't think so. I think, I don't think so. No, I don't. Shout out Leon. Leon says, what were your guys' thoughts on Miami Denver? So I'm gonna let this drive finish and then we'll get into it. This is a high leverage situation for Murtaza.
Yep. This is it right here. Come on. Devontae, touchdown! Touchdown, motherfucker! Oh, come on. Bro,
Got exactly what he wanted.
why
He
did
got
I bench Devon Achane, bro? I had Mostert. You know the two leagues we're in together?
Yeah.
One of them I had Mostert starting, which was really good. But
Yeah.
this one, the one with Eddie and all of them, I
Yeah.
had Devon Achane on the bench, bro.
Man.
51 fantasy points. But I got the Devontae touchdown here. I'm projected to win.
Yeah.
All right, go
I'm
for
gonna
two.
need some help.
Garoppolo, just find someone.
Yo,
I'm
just
stalling.
run. Dog. I mean, they got the flag there though.
Come on.
Yo, do you feel like if he just ran to his left, he could have got it?
Yeah, he definitely could have.
I felt like he had the space.
Oh man, this is Leon. We'll get to your question at commercial break.
Conclusion of this drive, man.
Pass interference. You know what they should do? Give it to
What?
Josh Jacobs and have him like jump over. You know, like that Saquon
Yeah,
Barkley
yeah.
play. Where he just
Exactly.
jumps over the O line, or do the Drew Brees play. Do the QB sneaks where he jumps over and like puts the ball up and then takes it back.
Yeah, exactly.
One of those.
You're at the
shits.
1 yard line. You should be able to get this yard. Yo, it's an I formation. The fullback is in. Motion to the left. Play action fake. Wide open to the tight end. Michael Mayer
man. Shout out Notre
makes
Dame.
it an 8-point game. So, yo, it's a 1-score game. The only way I don't see Jacobs getting these yards is if Pittsburgh kills like three plus minutes. If they get it down to close to the 2-minute warning for when the Raiders get the ball, then it might not happen. But look, it's in the hands of the Raiders defense now.
That won't happen, man. We're positive about
it. Yeah, to Leon's question here about the Miami-Denver game. On Miami side of things, obviously just like a unreal performance offensively. Like, yeah, Denver's defense is showing to be not that good, which we saw based on what they did last week, conceding like over 30 points to Sam Howell. That's not good. So like, yeah, that defense isn't good, but bro, it doesn't matter. Scoring 70 points is not easy. They were 2 points away from the all-time record. They could have kicked a field goal in the last minute to break the record. Regardless of the level of competition, that is some college shit that is difficult to do. So a hat tip to Miami because they played an unreal game offensively. Their running backs scored 7 touchdowns or some shit like that. It was ridiculous what they did. So yeah, Miami offensive side of the ball, can't give a team better reviews. Defensively, I think they look solid. They played a lot of garbage time football and did a good job of not really conceding too many points or like giving up too many yards. So all around great performance for Miami. And then on the Denver side of things, it's just so ugly, man. They're in such a bad spot for a team that has paid a bunch of money to a coach, who has paid a bunch of money to a quarterback, who has established talent defensively. This is about as bad of a team as you could possibly be with all those things being in place. I wouldn't be surprised if Denver is a bottom 5 team when all things are, when all is said and done. But yeah, bro, a tale of two teams here. One team I look at and I'm like, yo, there's not much more I could say positive about you, right? This is a great game and a great start to the season. But then on the other hand, there's not really many teams that I look at with more concern for what they have going on. So that's what it is, man. Two completely different teams. But yeah, Taza, your thoughts on Leon's question?
Yeah, man. I don't really care about Denver, to be honest. I've said enough about them today. But Miami, man, they're special, bro. If Tua can be healthy, they're Super Bowl contenders. And at this moment, I think they're better than Kansas City. Like, as of right now. Because, bro, This team looks insane, man. Raheem Mostert looks fucking insane. Davon Achane looks insane. Like, it's not just against bum teams that they're doing this. Like, they're doing this against good teams. And even against the Patriots, they had answers for them. And the Patriots are really good defensively. So, I think this team is special, man. They got something really special.
Yeah, man, I agree. Um, it's just like, yo, what was Tua was 16 for 16, over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns in the first half. Sean Payton was a person that I think when he was a part of the media had something to say about Tua that was negative. I saw a tweet about that. So I mean, you're out here shitting on the people that were talking shit, scoring 70 points, putting seven touchdowns in one position room, 7 touchdowns from the running backs. Dog, it's crazy stuff going on there. And obviously, we talk a lot about some of the talent, but I think Mike McDaniels or McDaniel, I think it's just McDaniel. There's no S at the end.
Yeah,
but I think he has an offense that uses speed better than any offense ever, right?
Yeah.
And it's a very specific, isolated thing I'm talking about. So like when I say that that's the best ever, it's not to say that it's the best offense ever. Like there's a bunch of broader statements that I want people to be careful about so people don't think I'm saying. But in terms of just utilizing speed, I don't think I've ever seen a coach utilize speed in a more effective way than he has, because like he doesn't have a lot of changeups. There's not a Mike Gesicki to like contrast what they have. There's not I don't know, like there's no DJ Chark, or like there's no complementary piece to Waddle and Hill and Braxton Berrios and River Craycraft and all those receivers and the running backs too. Like there's not a lot of contrast. There's speed guys. They know exactly what they want to do offensively. Everybody knows what they want to do offensively. They just do that shit at such a high level. It's really remarkable. Like, you just have to like give credit where credit's due with that coach. He's a serious guy. So again, just like this is the perfect situation to try to emulate, or like this is what everybody is trying to do when they pair a young, like up and coming offensive head coach with a young quarterback, right? Tua and McDaniel is what everyone would like in a perfect world, in terms of a coach that has found a way to get the absolute most out of the quarterback, and then a quarterback that ultimately has like met the coach halfway and done the work to be effective in the system. And now you have that pairing for however long that they stay there, which there's no cap on, provided that Tua stays healthy. So, man, what an ideal circumstance to be in. What
the craziest part is?
Yeah.
The year Mike McDaniel got hired, the Bears were also looking for. Yes, come on, 4th down, man. Let's go.
All right, you're in really good shape.
But the Bears hired Eberflus the same year they hired McDaniel. And we didn't even get him to the building. Didn't even request an interview. That's the craziest thing. How do you not let that happen? But yeah, like Mike McDaniel, he is one of the most creative offensives I've ever seen. Like, did you see that no-look shuttle pass? That shit was insane.
It was fucking beautiful. It was such a thing of beauty.
Here we go. I wouldn't even mind the overtime, boys. More touches for Jacobs.
100%. It's cash. I love how they run their offense, and this is coming from a Pats fan. Bro, 100%. Pivoting a little bit to next week, Miami versus Buffalo, with the way Buffalo's played their last 2 games, that is a hell of a game. And what I mean by that is that like we're, I think, gonna learn very valuable things about both teams when they play. Like I said about Detroit, Green Bay, these tiebreakers for teams competing for divisions are huge. So just because it's week 4 doesn't mean to change the fact that is a huge matchup. So we're going to learn something about Miami and something about Buffalo this time next week.
Right there. You got Jacobs right there. Just pass to. Let's go. Oh, come on. You could have broke it.
He could have broke it, but I think he got 7 anyways.
Okay, he needs Three
more.
more, please. 3, please. Oh. Just run
Yo,
it. Just run it.
Leon, bro, anybody could get cooked. Like, like you can't put anything past this Miami team. But also, that's an interesting point, bro.
Devontae.
Leon, how does it feel to hold that Miami offense to like 24 right before they give 70 to a very like a team with good defenders? Bad defensive coordinator. Vance Joseph has to be questioned heavily for what he's doing with the Broncos defense. But yeah, bro, Belichick held his own against the Dolphins offense, and we're now getting more context to just exactly how good the offense is. Because 70 points is special.
Jacobs again. Come on.
Yo, he just dropped your bet right there.
Oh my god.
He
3
just dropped the
yards,
bet.
bro. It's not too much to ask. Oh my god.
It's all good, bro. He's gonna get another touch.
Please, dear God.
He missed Devontae too, just for Jacobs to drop that shit.
He put it so low though.
I know, it was a shit throw.
Go.
Oh, yo, 3rd and short. Here it is.
Come on. Come on.
3rd and short. Here it is. Yo, I've been doing a thing for the last couple of weeks where I place a NFL parlay a whole week early just to get the favorable early odds. I like some of the odds I got locked in for next week. I got Dolphins plus 3. Dolphins plus 3 against Buffalo.
What?
That makes no sense. That's where it was. I made this bet 2 days on Friday. That's what they were offering.
Here we go. I didn't get one.
He got 2.5. He literally got 2.5. So they're probably going to credit that as 2.
Oh my
so
god!
He needs one more yard.
It's 74. I need half a yard, please. Like, is one more Jacobs touch too much to ask for?
It's 4th and 1. He should be getting the ball right here.
Or not, they're gonna sneak it.
Bro, if they sneak it with Garoppolo, they deserve everything.
No, Garoppolo is really good at sneaking.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
False start, you idiots.
Dog, what are we doing? What are we doing? You can't make that kind of a mistake. This is one of the linemen that's been getting
the James
cooked.
guy again.
Collinsworth is saying, "Oh, he just flinched a little bit, bro. That's enough." Yo, you're joking. You're joking. They're kicking a field goal.
What?
I understand not respecting the Steelers' offense. I understand that. But, yo, this is a bit much.
Flag.
Yo, this is a big flag. This is a really big flag.
Come on. Offside. First down.
This is a big flag. Yo, it's a personal foul on Pittsburgh. Yo, again, just two teams.
Just one touch. Please.
2 teams just fucking trying to lose this game.
Please.
Yo, Leon, this is a good point. Honestly, the Patriots defense has done their job for a 3-0 start. It's the other side of the field, and it's specifically, or the other side of the ball, and it's specifically Mac Jones. But at the end of the day, like, it's on Bill to get the quarterback position right? Like, that does fall on his shoulders. But 100%, right. Like, Bill's a defensive guy, and he's got that part sorted out completely.
Come on, here we go. Come on.
Yo, the fullback's in the game. Jacobs is getting this ball probably.
Please, please, please.
Yo, the fullback is split wide. He's probably gonna motion
What?
into the formation. He's gonna motion into the formation.
Here, please, please, please. Come on, come on,
Or
come on.
not.
Just
Or
half a
he's
yard.
not.
Half a yard. He's there, right there. Yes, yes,
He got it.
Come on, come on.
He's got it.
Vamos, vamos.
It's the Murtaza Remontada. He's back. He's back. It started off rough today, but it's great. It's amazing again.
Whew.
Murtaza was down 4-0 in the first half, but you know, Istanbul.
Bro.
The Sunday ended up being a great Sunday. Bro, what the hell is that? What the hell was that bullshit? That is what you can't throw that when the corner is right there, my guy.
Bro, I hit all my fucking Sunday night game parlays. Bro, like primetime parlays for me this year have been cash money. Hey, bro, we haven't bet like we talk like we would, bro. We have.
Oh yeah, we haven't done a group parlay yet. Yeah, we're gonna get this parlay going.
Tomorrow.
Okay.
We're doing the stream, right?
Bet. Let's do it. We'll do a parlay segment during the stream.
Let's go. Yes, bro. I'm so back, bro. I got some juice
again. What the hell is going on?
Yo. Oh my God, what a catch.
Kobe did not catch that, but like that's a hell of an effort. Like that doesn't deserve to be 6 points, but yo, give him a little 1 point off of the strength because that was fire. Yo, please tell me they're not kicking a field goal here.
Bro, if he puts his right foot down, that's a touchdown.
Yo, they're kicking a field goal, dog.
Hey, if he gets 3, that's
Nah, you're just basically you need a 3 and out when you kick Pittsburgh the ball. You have room for error with 1 first down, but they're basically saying we can clamp this Steelers defense. I agree, but then you're going to get the ball back with 1:50 and no timeouts, and then that's where I'm skeptical about Garoppolo executing a 2-minute drill. That's my problem with that approach to things is I don't think you can expect Garoppolo to execute a 2-minute drill with no timeouts, about 1:45 to go. That's probably the outcome of what's going to happen.
Oh my God, Josh Jacobs, I love you, man. Hey, this has been a good game, man. This has been a good game.
Yeah, bro.
Better than I thought it would be.
Big facts. I thought this was going to be a shit game. It's been a good ending. Sometimes evenly matched mediocre teams, it ends up being a good time.
Like last week, the game that was like that for me was Texans Colts.
Facts, yeah.
Like 100%. That shit, I thought it was gonna be crazy. Remember, we said it was gonna be a really low scoring bad game.
Yeah,
but it was a really high scoring bad game. Funny enough.
Facts.
But you know the 100%. Game that disappointed me the most, Falcons Lions.
Yeah.
Man. I was excited.
That was a dog shit game.
I was so excited for that game.
Yo, Bijan versus Gibbs, I was excited, and then like neither of them really like showed out like that.
Bro, they barely got him touches, man. 10 carries for Bijan Robinson, 14 total touches. Are you high?
Facts.
That game plan from Arthur Smith, fucking horrible. Horrible. Let's see. Who do we got primetime next week? Ooh, Lions Packers.
Yeah, so the Thursday night game is good. That's what we're doing the watch long for. Chiefs Jets on Sunday night is terrible.
Oh yeah, it's good.
All these Jets primetime games are gonna piss me off so much because they could have been so much better with Rodgers, but like it's fucking bro. Zach Wilson that we have to watch.
I don't know why I was so excited for the Jets because I love Garrett Wilson. Like I absolutely love Garrett Wilson.
Same.
Man. Let's see. We got some. Oh, we got a London game next week, I think.
Yeah, we do. Yo, Jaguars Falcons, which is actually decent, but like I don't know, man. 9:30 in the morning for me, it's a little bit much.
Seahawks Giants JSN watch. I will be there.
Oh yeah, the Monday night game. I'm happy with that. Yo, that game like it probably will be satisfying for me to see the Seahawks beat the
Oh,
Giants.
the Thursday after that is Bears Commanders. Good lord.
Yo, didn't they do that year as a Thursday night game? I swear.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
After that game, the Bears figured it out. Then the Bears had Monday Night Football against the Patriots after that, so that was the one.
shit.
That game was 10-7.
I remember. I think the Bears were wearing their orange helmets
Yes, orange helmets, orange jerseys. Darnell Mooney
um,
dropped a wide open pass in the end zone
at the
to win
goal
the game.
line. Yeah.
Feels like it was like 20 seconds left. Bears were at midfield, no timeouts. Fields ran a
Yeah.
50-yard scramble for to the 6-yard line. We couldn't score in like 4 plays.
3rd and 2, big down people. 2:12 to go. Raiders only have one timeout and the 2-minute warning to kill the
He's
clock.
running it,
Pickett
isn't he?
rolls left. The way he held the ball, I think it was like he basically faked the run by just the way he held the ball, and then he just found a completely open receiver. So that's going to get us down to the 2-minute warning. The Raiders will get one more stop of the clock. That means at absolute best, they'll get the ball with like 30 seconds to go. So this game is basically over because Garoppolo's not getting the ball down the field in 30 seconds with no timeouts from his own side of the field. So yeah, that's a game-winning play by Pickett there. Good play design. Good play design. Very easy play for Pickett to make. I like that play call. Matt Canada does a lot of stupid shit, but that was not a part of it. Even Collinsworth is saying right now, I heard him saying that was a very good call. And it was, man. It was. The defense was entirely sold on the fact that Pickett was rolling left. But yo, man, Steelers 2-1. Look at them finding a way to win games, even while being like a aggressively like unimpressive team. Oh my goodness. Najee.
No, Najee, don't lose too many yards, bro. Bro, they should just hike. What is it? Take a knee, bro. Just don't fuck this shit up.
Yo, fuck it. Wildcat Najee up the middle. On his Derrick Henry shit. Leon says getting a QB that's good enough to win 12 plus games is like hitting the lottery. QB class of 2021. You could say only Trevor Lawrence is panning out. Fields and Jones are questionable. Lance and Wilson are busts. Bro, yes, getting great quarterback play is very difficult in the NFL. It's part of the reason why a lot of average to shit quarterbacks get run is because there's not actually that many good ones, and that goes to show you how hard it is. So yeah, yo, it's a big task for Belichick, but he has to get it right because just this is what they'll be for the rest of his time there if they can't figure this quarterback position out. And that's ultimately why, like trade ups to the top of the draft are very expensive. The Bryce Young trade was very expensive. The RG3 trade was very expensive. The Goff and Wentz trades were very expensive.
Trey Lance trade.
Oh, it was so expensive.
Arguably the worst trade in NFL history.
Yep, bro. Getting great quarterback play is very difficult for a reason. It's not that many of those guys.
There you go. All right, Raiders. Let's see you score right here.
Bro, Garoppolo's probably gonna throw a pick.
Hey, I wouldn't mind Devontae just a catch, so I can guarantee a fantasy win. The guy I'm facing has 135.26. I have 134.76, but I still have Mike Evans to play. So,
yo,
I win regardless, but
I'm in a fantasy matchup where I'm down 8 going into the Monday night games. The other guy has Hurts. I have AJ Brown, Swift, and Goddard. Is there a way that Hurts outscores, like he has one guy, I have all
Mm.
his weapons. I have to get those 8 points, right?
Yeah. You'll get him. You'll get him.
I just need Hurts. If Hurts gets like a bunch of sneaks, then that's what fucks me over. If he gets like his
You have Swift
touchdowns
as
at
well,
the
right?
line. Yes, I have Swift,
Oh
AJ
yeah,
Brown, and
you're
Goddard.
decent.
Like
You're decent. You're decent. Don't worry.
I'm starting all the Eagles.
You're decent, dog.
And then I'm in another league where I have a 31-point lead, and the other guy has Devontae and Rashad White, and I still feel good about that, like Devontae Smith. Yo,
Oh, muffed.
we
But they
got
got
guys
it.
fumbling punts out here. 12 seconds to go now, so like, I mean, fuck it. Now I know how teams, fans that are starved over QB feels, bro. Yeah, it's pain. It's pain. It hurts. It sucks so much.
Who did the Patriots have before Brady? Who was it?
I mean, they paid Drew Bledsoe immediately before the
Yeah,
Brady
Bledsoe was good,
era,
right?
but he was supposed to be, and I think he was good. Well, yeah, I think he was considered like a. They were considered Super Bowl contenders prior to Brady ever playing, because like Brady played in the playoffs for the first time, and while they were there, I think they were supposed to be contenders.
Devontae, get
Yo, what
that?
I tell you,
Oh, yep, just like you said. Threw a fucking pick.
bruh, this fucking guy, man, this fucking guy. I hate this guy. I'm happy that bad things are happening to McDaniels.
That's
I'm
so
happy, man.
funny.
He
3 Jimmy
deserves it.
G picks, man. Porn star Jimmy strikes again. Oh man.
Out here just doing dumb shit, man. Yo, that field goal decision looks awful with the way the plan worked. They basically gambled on getting a 3-and-out, which I don't think is a smart thing to do when your defense is like the Raiders' defense. Like I said, I understand
Oh,
disrespecting the Steelers' offense, but also like I think the Raiders deserve just as much disrespect.
they had the ball in the red zone twice at 12 points. They could have
Yeah,
got 2 touchdowns there and won the game basically, but they chose not to.
they did dumb
That's the
shit
Raiders
instead,
for them.
people. That is the Raiders, and that is why Eddie rejects any ideas of him being a fan of this team. But yes, people, that is the watch long. We're gonna call this stream. It's been an amazing almost 3 hours. Had a lot of fun. The game was interesting. The conversation was good. Um, and the chat was pretty active today. So I appreciate that, man. Shout out to everybody watching live. There's 25 of you guys on your way out, man. Make sure you guys like the video. Make sure you guys press the subscribe button. A lot more content coming up throughout this season and the off season. So make sure you guys stay tuned in. You're gonna want to be subscribed so you don't miss when we go live. Like I said, we're gonna be live Thursday for Thursday Night Football. We will not be live Sunday because I will be in Philadelphia to watch the Eagles play the Commanders. So no Sunday stream, but we do get a Thursday stream. But yeah, man, people. Shout out to everybody watching on replay. Just because you're not watching live doesn't mean you can't show support. So leave comments, like the video, subscribe to the channel. That helps too. We're trying to grow this channel to get interacting with different fans. We want more active chat with like all different kinds of fans. I'd love to get more panel members. So to get to that point, man, I need you guys' help. So make sure you guys like this video. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. And I'm going to leave you guys with that. A lot more content coming up. Make sure you stay tapped in with us for sure. And we're out.